The announcement is this. I'm going to be doing a Google Hangout next Friday. Not today, but next Friday. And that particular Google Hangout will be focused on primarily one thing. I'm asking everyone to bring their own personal rap to this particular Google Hangout.
I'm going to expose myself on YouTube. I'm going to make a YouTube video embarrassing myself.
Thank
you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I got to tell you about the fabulous, most groovy
G-Man. You know you're breaking the law right now. I will stomp a mud hole in you, sir. I am not playing, Dragnet.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
No big business that I be.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
G-Man.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
No big business that I be.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries.
Yeah. Sorry, I took my bra off for the day, so you're gonna be looking outside. So if you might see people walking past, this is where I sit. You should know this by now. But anyway, y'all want to hear what's going on? I know I do. I know it has to be enthralling.
Of people having freedom of religion. And when you have freedom of religion, you have the freedom of expression of your religion to a certain extent. Obviously, you can't go around murdering people and things like that and whatnot. But if you believe in a God, you are free. You are free to worship your God. You are free to adhere to the creeds and the commandments of your God. You are free to go out there and to evangelize. But if it's up to atheists, they will get rid of evangelism here in the United States. They don't want you talking about God outside of your home. That seems to be their big goal. Then they want to create a school system where they can indoctrinate your kids into believing that there is no God by having their views and having their philosophies taught in schools. And to indoctrinate your children, not to teach them, to indoctrinate them. All right? And they do this with evolution, they do this with abiogenesis, they do this with various different things. That is what it's called. They say that when you go to school, you can't really teach about Jesus. You can't really, you can pray privately, but you can't pray together as a classroom or anything like that.
That's kind of not the purpose of school
here in the United States, which I do not believe is good for the United States.
So if you had a Muslim teacher, you want the Muslim to lead a Muslim prayer? Like, that's stupid.
And a lot of the things that the atheists claim they are fighting from religion, I myself either am not part of that or they're confusing what I believe with like the Roman Catholic Church, Mormonism, or something like that, in which they have the freedom to believe what they want to believe, provided that they don't break the laws here in the United States. All right? No, we're not going to be talking about Genesis. I just brought that up one time. So anyway, so atheists definitely don't.
This is live, by the way.
freedom of
Oh,
religion.
actually, good point.
They're doing everything they can to try to get rid of it and try to get people to make individual decisions to stop believing in a God, or to stop having
Gotta
some
find
type
my
of
little
belief
live
system to
button.
help them get through their life. Religion does not necessarily mean you believe in a God, and I wish atheists would get that through their head, because they've been indoctrinated themselves into believing that to be religious you have to believe in a God. You know, you'll be surprised how many Christians are actually against religion, because we understand what it is. Ain't nothing but a bunch of rules and regulations that you follow in order to attempt to be a good person. Some of this applies to worshiping a God, and some of this applies to just trying to become enlightened or reaching nirvana or whatever, you know. But yeah, definitely they want to see us lose the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech. The only speech atheists want you to support, and now mind you, the reason why I'm singling out atheists is because I want to talk about how they're affecting the future destruction of the democracy that we're living in today. All right. And I do define atheists a little bit differently than some other people. Yeah, I do acknowledge their claim that they lack belief in a God or a God, but we're going to get into some other stuff though.
We're gonna get into a straw man because why not address the things that people actually believe? Let me address the straw man.
All right, if you was for the freedom of speech, you would have no problem with Christians expressing themselves against LGBTQ. You would have no problem with that whatsoever. But you do got a problem with it, and you have a problem with it to such a degree that it fuels a lot of the evangelical atheism that you guys preach.
Evangelical atheism.
You say that what we're talking about is hate speech.
So
You
it
claim
is hate
that
speech.
we're not benefiting society by talking against these things. As a Christian, it is against my beliefs to practice those things. So by you doing that, you're actually fighting against my religious freedoms. For me, A, to not practice those things,
Wait, not practice
B,
it?
not to accept those things as being normal,
That's up
okay?
to you, my man.
And then
Nobody
C,
forces you to suck a dick.
not allowing me to go out there and to express this to other people while I'm supposed to have freedom of speech.
You got the freedom to
And
tell
that's just
people
one
you
of a
don't
bunch
be
of
gay.
different examples. Anybody who's been on social media or the internet, you know that these people go looking for these Christian YouTube channels and they want to downvote, and do
That hurts 'em.
anything they can to censor Christians from speaking
Downvoting
out
doesn't
what
censor
they
you,
actually
idiot.
believe. And again, this is not going to be an echo chamber. I'm going to open up the room for people to come in here
All right, folks.
shortly, just not right now, because there's a few things that I want to talk about and some things I surely want to show you.
For everything and whatnot.
All right. Let me see something here. There's a few things that I want to talk about and some things I surely want to show you. Just do this real quick. There we go. All right. I definitely need to get a better microphone system while I'm doing these.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
for sure. So atheism is against the freedom of religion. They definitely do not support the freedom of speech. The only freedom of speech they support is secular speech, saying the things that
I don't
they
even support
say.
that. Fuck up.
Okay.
Fuck
And
Allen.
it kind of goes against the idea of these people being
Fuck
full of
everybody's
free thought,
speech.
being a free spirit, having autonomy. And as a matter of fact, I go so far to say that's a form of slavery, that you want people to be in bondage to what you think, and you don't care about other people's opinions.
Quit bullying him.
Somebody else expresses another opinion, you're going to try to twist the law to try to get laws passed where you can make people only speak what you got to speak. That's why a lot of us call you.
How you would? That's a direct violation of the First Amendment. Like a direct
Okay.
one.
No God in politics. No God in our government. No God in our politics. No God in the public sphere whatsoever. Now we do know of a particular system of government that actually practices these things,
Here we go.
called communism.
A government called communism.
And we see what happens when communists run their particular nations
Mm-hmm.
and how the people are treated. and how the government controls everything. That's kind of where the United States is actually going to, if you ask me. The United States is moving in a direction of communism. But let's get into this, though. All right. So you don't want the president to have his belief in God affect what he does. You don't want Congress' belief in God to affect what you do. You don't want anybody in the public sphere who is in political office or has any real power to use their power, to use their belief in God to affect the power that they're using to do what they're doing in this country. And you believe that this is a good thing. And you believe that it'll make our democracy stronger. No, it'll destroy it. And we'll be moving closer and closer and closer to a socialistic or a communist or a Marxist government system. Some of you don't even believe in private property. Some of you want to get rid of private property. Some of you want the government to be in everything, without understanding that that's a form of slavery. Because now you have to do what the government tells you to do in order to receive the benefits from the government. Let me copy and paste this link here. I'm going to make it available to you guys, but I want you guys to see some things. All right? So, I see Donald Trump is allowing his belief in whatever God that he worships to directly affect his politics. Whatever God Barack Obama was worshiping was affecting his politics. Anybody who's ever been president in the United States, whatever they were worshiping, whether it was the God of the Bible, whether or not it was the God of Islam or whoever, the fact of the matter is their God was going to affect the politics that they was going to try to push. Which brings me to another point. A lot of atheists wrongly believe that America is a Christian nation. That the people that are in office, that are in Congress, the people that are in the White House, the people that are in power, that these people are all Christians. Therefore, they're passing Christian legislation. No, that's not true. That is not true. That's not even remotely.
Have you heard of Ted Cruz?
The people that are in power right now are Luciferians, and they have vastly different beliefs than I do.
Donald Trump is a Luciferian?
Very similar to what you atheists believe. You'll be shocked at how many things that you guys agree with, especially some of the Satanists that are in office. You'll be surprised how many of you hold to some of these things. I did a video on my on the G-Man channel where I talked about the nine satanic statements and how atheists couldn't find one of them that they disagree with. Now, I'm pretty sure if you look at psychic vampires or something like that, you probably might have something to say about that. But most of those commandments that is found in the Satanic Church, a lot of you agree with. Just like a lot of you definitely agree. I would say 99.9% of the atheists out there agree with Luciferian. And you're all going to learn what that is soon enough. Because I see a lot of atheists out there defending Lucifer, defending Satan, calling him the good guy of the Bible, and calling God a monster. It takes some really special thinking to come to that conclusion. All right. So I'm going to make the link available soon, guys, but I want you guys to take a look at a few other things here.
There we go, folks.
Before I go further. And I'm going to be showing proof throughout my show here on why I believe these things. What about sexual freedom here in the United States? Who do you think supports that more than any other group here? You guessed, atheists. Atheists want total sexual freedom. Not
total sexual freedom.
LGBTQ.
I don't even know what that means.
Practiced in the United States without any discrimination whatsoever. But they also want bestiality to be practiced here.
Bestiality.
Any other sick, twisted thing that somebody does in their bedroom. I have something I want you guys to take a look at that I think some of you are going to find interesting.
I think he was talking about Psychic Vampire Podcast, the Omni Eris and Doc Savage.
Christopher Hitchens was asked a very interesting question here. I want you guys.
He's on GTV.
Where is it?
No, don't fuck it. Don't praise the Dragon Lord. Go in and talk to him, folks. Go in and see where he gets his shit from. Cut your teeth.
Atheists don't like touching this topic because
it's a straw man.
This one's a bit difficult for them.
It's a bit difficult.
So
it's a straw man. I'm not sure who is advocating for bestiality.
Cut it out, Mincy.
Stop it, cat.
Guys, I'll be right back. Cut it out.
Cat.
Cut it out.
Spank the cat.
I don't know. I think my boy cat's trying to hook my baby kitten. Need to cut that mess out. As a kitten. Not ready for babies. Alright,
She about to be ready. Cats don't care.
Okay, here we go. When you guys check this one out, now it might be kind of low, so you're gonna have to pay attention to hear this. All right.
You could get some better equipment.
Check this out.
Craig, Mr. Hitchens, thank you so much. It's been great listening to you both. My question is for Mr. Hitchens. Mr. Hitchens, in your book, God is Not Great, you say that, quote, there are 4 irreducible objections to religious faith, end quote. The third being that religious faith, quote, is both the result and the cause of dangerous sexual repression, end quote. So here's my question for you. Is it good that the Bible prohibits humans from having sex with animals? Or is that an example of dangerous sexual repression?
The allusion I was making was not to the man-made in the ordinary sense nature of religion, which you can tell from studying some of its codes that it's humans that invented it. That's why so many of the injunctions in the Old Testament are, as you quite rightly say, concerned with agriculture, shall we put it a bit delicately. But it's more that it's men-made, that it's designed to keep women in subordination.
But could you answer the question? Do you
Yes.
think the Bible is right to prohibit humans from having sex with animals?
I don't know of any good advice about having sex with animals. In favor of it, I mean to say, look, there are things that if people do, incest is one, and cannibalism is another. If you do them, you'll die out. A society that permitted it would. There were societies in New Guinea that did practice cannibalism, and there's a terrible disease that you get called kuru if you do it, and the disease be.
Kuru.
It's if you like, there's some rules that are self-enforcing. That's not what when I was talking about sexual repression, I was talking about the enormous number of prohibitions on sex between men and women.
Oh, you talking about those? Okay. Thank you, Donna Murphy.
Female sexuality and the superstitious dread, for example, of female menstrual blood. Things of this kind.
Dr. Craig, your assessment of that question and answer.
Illustrates that apart from God, whatever is in nature is right. There is no thing barred in nature if there is no sort of objective moral code. So the question is a good one because it illustrates that here is a guideline for sexual expression that is very good for human beings and not something that's meant to be.
I mean, Hitchens just kind of outlined a few examples of ones that weren't good, but all right.
Says that religious people
Cannibalism,
have
the
more fun
incest,
with sex
you know,
than
whatever, right?
People who are not religious, and it's actually shows that they are more sexually satisfied in marriage and so forth. So I think.
So anyway, I got my reasons for wanting to show that, and it's not so much talk about what Wayne Lane Craig was talking about. I got a different point that I want to make that I think is going to be really interesting to talk about. So let me get this straight here. Christopher Hitchens couldn't bring himself to say, as an atheist, I don't think that there's anything wrong with a human being committing bestiality with a horse or with with any one of his relatives.
Is that what he said though, G-Man? Is that what he said?
Indoctrinate our children in our schools that human beings are animals and horses are animals too.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not getting the logic on that one. Christopher Hitchens was in trouble with that question. That is for sure. He was in a lot of trouble with that.
A lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble with that. Atheists cannot be against bestiality. Okay?
Really?
You can't say that there's going to be a disease because we eat these animals. Some people eat these animals raw.
Oh, man.
All right? So as an atheist, you don't have anything wrong with you don't have anything wrong with that. But I'm going to take it a step even further. Not only do you guys think LGBTQ is okay, not only do you guys
Here we
think
go.
bestiality
About
is
the
okay,
gay folks.
pedophilia is okay. Because you don't have any rules. There is no objective moral values. There are no absolutes. So atheists want pedophilia to be legal. They are some of the most
He is
outspoken
dying
that they
for a
want
fucking
crack
audience now.
crack
Like, this is
cocaine
sad.
to be legal. They want marijuana. Well, marijuana is already illegal in a lot of places.
Like, what the
already.
fuck does marijuana have to do with this?
They want LSD to be legal. They want meth to be legal. They want all these different drugs to be legal because they want people to have total freedom. They don't want people to have religious oppression on them whatsoever. Even though a lot of the things that the Bible tells us, all of the things that the Bible tells us to stay away from, is good for us. It's just hilarious. Hey, G-Man, you know that you're an animal and that you evolved from an animal? Oh, that's interesting. G-Man, we don't think that it's ethical to have sex with animals. Okay, that makes zero sense whatsoever.
Whole nested hierarchy. Still doesn't understand it.
Want total sexual freedom, but you can't do that in the democracy that we're living in today. You can't do that in the republic that we're living in today. You can't do that in the system of government that we have today. This government has to change for you to get any of the things that we're talking about here.
What
so I
the
want to show you
fuck
something
is
else
he
here.
talking about?
What about economically? First of all, who in our society supports science more than anyone else in our society? Who supports science more than anybody? It is the atheist community. All they do is brag about what this scientist said, what paper was written, what this scientist says, what this scientist says, what this scientist says, what this scientist says, what this scientist says. And that's all they do is boast and brag about science, 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 science. Well, you know, we made a lot of technological breakthroughs here in the United States and across the world. And not just me. Before I was even born, people was talking about the cashless society. I mean, for crying out loud, Jesus talked about it in the book of Revelation. When Jesus didn't talk about it, John did. When Jesus shows them the vision of the future cashless society, Jesus talked about all of the things that was going to happen in our day in the gospel. The Apostle Paul talked about the moral decline that what happened in the epistles, right? But
I stole $3,000.
Proof that this cashless society is real. Because earlier in my first video, I had said
I read it and say
that in 10 years, at least that's what the Uber driver told me. I think it's going to be 20. But in about 10 years, you can kiss stores goodbye. Kiss Walmart goodbye. Kiss Kmart, I think is
Listen, he's getting advice from his Uber driver. Man, look at that.
Woolworth moves to different countries. It's going to get to a point that physical cash isn't going to be a thing anymore. So I want to show you guys something here, which is probably why some of these companies might survive. Because if everybody's taking cashless, I say,
I stole $3,000.
That's a lot cheaper. But anyway, let me show you
so
guys.
Buck Melanoma says, beat, fucking beat, bitches. Angry Roach says, who is the king of the animal kingdom? I think you know. It's G-Man.
This is in China. And we're going to be talking about a cashless society in China. All right. Let's take a look at this.
Overstuffed wallets in your back pocket or purse might soon come to an end. By 2020, mobile wallets on our smartphones are expected to surpass the use of credit and debit cards in the U.S. That has already happened in China. Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Good morning. So when I moved here to China a couple of months ago, I kept getting funny looks every time I would pull cash out of my wallet to pay for things. And then I got one of these. It's a code on my phone, and now I can basically buy anything here in China. When you pay for something, how do you pay for it? On the streets of Beijing, cash is definitely
I'm not sure how this has anything to do with anything.
That's rare and weird, he says. Only the elderly and people who don't know how to use a phone pay cash. This woman says, I rarely take my wallet when I go out, just my phone. That's because those phones can buy just about anything, from clothes in the store to steamed buns on the street. They're used to pay for bike rides and bus rides, rent and utility bills. When was the last time you used cash? A month ago? Wow, that's a long time. WeChat and Alipay dominate China's mobile market, and payments on their platforms totaled more than $5.5 trillion last year, a 200% jump from the year before, and nearly 50 times more than the value.
Now, I don't want to go through the entire video, but I think you guys get the point that we are heading toward a cashless society. On my phone, I have a Cash App, and I have a PayPal that ain't working.
Oh, we know.
Right now.
We know,
Don't
G-Man.
donate
We know.
Do not donate the PayPal. Don't donate the PayPal. But I do have Cash App. I also have Chime as well. And I noticed that I'm getting a lot of offers from various things online to prevent me from using paper money, and they're giving me different ways to be able to pay for different things, and have everything to be done electronically. Now I wonder, how can they get the whole world to do this and think that it's actually beneficial? I know the Bible talked about this a little bit.
The Bible talks about cashless society?
I believe we call it the mark of the beast. And to show you that I'm not paranoid and that this is a very real reality, I'll show you this right now. So hold on. I'm going to StreamYard this one. I'm going to screen share this for you. I'll be making a link available for you guys to come in here soon enough. So just be patient. Where is it?
Here we go. It's a conspiracy.
Here we go. And let's do this one right here. Here we go.
All about the chips. Many people would benefit from it.
It would be more efficient.
It'd be nice if you maximized it. Looks better.
2017 this week with the news that a Wisconsin firm is embedding microchips in their employees. Reaction was heated with lots of worries about Big Brother. But quick reality check, the chips do not have GPS. And the folks we spoke to could think of some positive aspects about being
Mark of the Beast is a microchip.
For everything, so it saves time if you forget it, I guess. You know, it would just already be in you. You don't have to like keep memorizing things or writing it down.
People who are potentially going to be incarcerated, maybe they can trade shipping for incarceration.
It's good for identification, trying to get through an airport. It would be really quick to like get your identification in.
And those were some of the nice comments we heard. Others, not so much.
No, I think it's just unnecessary.
I don't really want to be considered a number. I'd rather be a person.
I'm special. I'm not a number.
I'm afraid that they'd like to enable a GPS and they'd be able to track me all the time.
Hate to break it to you. If you live in a first world nation, you're a number. That's some way, shape, or form. Sorry.
Here, not in here. At least for now, right?
And that's a very good point. If you don't cut your location off on your phone, they can find you anywhere you go. As a matter of fact, if you don't take the battery out your phone, they can find you anywhere you can go.
Even with the battery, G-Man, they can still find you.
And they can force cut that thing right back on, and they'll be able to find you anywhere that you go.
Who is they?
And so, don't give me this nonsense that I'm a conspiracy theorist.
You are.
Oh my God, G-Man thinks they're going to chip everybody. They are going to chip everybody. You have to be dumb, blind, and stupid not to be able to see that.
Here we go.
They're going to get rid of cash. Just like they're going to get rid of nationalistic countries. And we're going to talk about this in the StreamYard Hangout. I'm not going to get into that by myself. They're going to get rid of physical cash. And,
I have no idea what China is.
Everything's going to go cashless. They're going to get rid of your Constitution and your Bill of Rights and this voting process. And we're going back under a dictatorship. They're just not going to call it a dictatorship. It'll probably be called communism.
It's going to be just like Rome, folks. It's going to be just like Rome.
Phrase for it or whatever. But it's pretty much, the whole world is pretty much going to be run by one person and regional governors like you've seen in Star Wars. I actually want to get into that a little bit.
Like you see in Star Wars. Star Wars, they have a fucking republic.
And then there's the issue of religion, because a lot of atheists say that religion gets in the way of
They
everything.
do have a republic.
Religion,
they have an emperor,
much
like Rome.
Religion gets in the way of
But they have a republic.
Religion gets in the way of logic and reason, and religion gets in the way of everything. So we got to get rid of religion, or we need to get rid of those fundamentalists, those radical extremists, those literalists. We need to get rid of them, right? And I'm not going to show any videos for that. I can go to my Bible and tell you what's going to happen with that, because it should be painstakingly obvious if you've ever read it before.
Go back to the feudal system.
But what's going to end up happening is they're going to combine all of the religions. And before you start saying that this is not a reality and this could never happen, it's already happening today. It's called the ecumenical movement, and the Roman Catholic Church is the one that's behind it. I'm not going to show you any videos. I'm just going to give you some proof. How many of you have ever noticed that the Roman Catholics and atheists can be in the same room and they'll get along with each other just fine, regardless of the history of the Roman Catholic Church? All a Catholic has to say to an atheist is, well, I'm not really proud of our history. So on behalf of the Catholic Church, I'm sorry for what the Catholics did to people.
So being
being
honest about the nonsense that's going on, the cover-ups and the shit.
Oh, compromise.
How's that compromising?
But yeah, it's called the Ecumenical Movement, and you can even see it happening.
He has
in the
such a
mega churches,
weird
Russell
perspective
Dollar
on
and Kenneth
things.
Copeland and those guys, where they're saying that the Protestant Reformation is over. You know, we can go back to the Roman Catholic Church. That ain't never gonna happen. I was never part of the Roman Catholic Church, for starters. That's number one.
I don't think you were ever part of a church.
As a religious authority. If I met the Pope, I would talk to the Pope like a regular human being. I would show absolutely, and I know a lot of people who are Catholic is probably gonna feel a little disrespected or whatever, but I would treat that man like he's the average Joe out there.
What?
I preach to him the same way I preach to everybody else.
No, Jeep, don't do that.
And I have my reasons for saying that.
I would treat him like I treat everyone else. So you treat him like shit.
You have to now you know how I feel about the Roman Catholic Church. Actually, you know a little
That'll
bit
show
how I
him,
feel about the
G-man.
Roman Catholic Church. But at least the office of the Pope and some of the things that they teach. I don't disagree with everything, but I disagree with a very large amount of what they teach in the Holy Roman Catholic Church. But what they're trying to do is they have the National Council of Churches, they have the World Council of Churches, they have national prayer, the National Day of Prayer. They have various different events where they can bring all the faiths together and show that we can actually be in unity. And this is what's ultimately going to happen. There is going to be a huge merger, and it will be public. It won't be done in secret the way it's done right now. You know what I mean? Where all of the faiths are going to come together under one religious leader. And I believe that one religious leader is going to be the false prophet that is mentioned in the book of Revelation, chapter 13. And I think in the book of Daniel.
Oh, shit. The chat froze.
He's definitely in Revelation chapter 13. He is the some people believe it's the second beast that comes out of the earth. The beast that comes out of the sea is
Oops.
So we'll see. But how you doing, Becco? I'm making the link available really soon, guys. So it's a first come, first serve type thing. And I want to get in here. I want to talk about, do atheists support the New World Order? I believe that they do. I believe that they will have no problem with a lot of the things that will be taught in the New World Order. The only thing that atheists are going to be against, I think, in the New World Order is the worship of man, worshiping each other as God.
There we go. I had to reload the chat. If y'all been saying stuff, I can't tell when it freezes.
I don't think all atheists is going to have a problem with that, because some of them already understand and already do those kinds of things, and they still believe that they're atheists since they're not worshiping a supernatural deity. All right? But anyway, we can talk about that a little bit more as I get you guys in here. So we give you guys a link to come in here. If you're an atheist, you have priority. I want at least one atheist in here, because I'm sure you disagree with me. You have to sit through this for like a half an hour. I feel your pain. Why don't you come in here and actually show me where I may be wrong about some of the things that I've said?
I'm not.
He's
not presented anything other than people's opinions on YouTube.
Regarding that, because if you don't believe that there's absolute moral values, and you don't believe in absolute right or wrong, then you should have no problem with bestiality whatsoever, at all. We got Von Helton in here.
Here we go.
Helton, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, Vaughn, you got a problem with Loken 16 being in here?
Yes, I do. He's one of my haters.
One of my haters.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Loken's one of my haters, man.
All right.
Don't put him in.
Loken and Big C, they're two of my haters.
Okay, Ooh. I see them.
Shout out.
All right. So, Brother Beckel, if you want a link, open up Skype, and I will send you the link on Skype if you want. If any of you guys are on Skype, you can just let me know that you got Skype open, and I will give you the link on Skype. Because I got a feeling that the atheists are just going to troll, and which is all they can do. They ain't got nothing intelligent to say about this.
Well,
that's true.
Atheism has absolutely no morality, none,
right,
zero,
Sabella.
zilch. You have to go back to the beginnings of atheism, because atheism. Atheists will try to say, "Oh, well, atheism doesn't have no beginning; it's always been around." That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. Atheism has beginning. Absolutely, it has a beginning. It was started out by Karl Marx. And Karl Marx, because, everybody says, oh, well, Karl Marx was spreading communism. Yeah, but he also spread atheism. Unless, of course, you think the Bolsheviks were good Christian boys. No, they were atheists. Okay? So what happens is Rothschild gives a big fat check to Karl Marx and says, here you go, Karl, go out and spread atheism and communism all over the world.
Spread it.
Okay? So not only is atheism a construct, but it's backed by the elite, the New World Order. It is literally backed by Rothschild, Rockefeller, Morgan, Carnegie, Warburg, Vanderbilt, and the others. I forget
spread by the
rest of
Jews.
them
Just say
right
it.
off the top of my
Jews
head.
did
But
it.
anyway, there's 13 core families that make up the New World Order.
They
That
mostly
make up the
Jews?
Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group, whatever you want to call them. And they are definitely behind atheism 150%.
They're on
No doubt about it. Because Rothschild gave that check to Karl Marx, said, here you go, Karl, spread atheism, communism all over the world. Okay, that's a fact. That's not, nobody can get in here and dispute that fact. It's an absolute historical fact. So yes, atheism would have died on the vine a long time ago if it hadn't been for the elite, for the New World Order. If it hadn't been for them, atheism wouldn't even be around today. I absolutely believe that.
The Lord says that the Jesuits created atheism, and he says that it was created to discredit Christianity.
Rothschild gave
Marx
a
is
check?
the only belief system it attacked.
I thought something
there's a
sounded
lot of
weird.
He
might want to check
speculation
them
out there
dates on that.
that
Because
you
I'm
know
like,
supposedly
hold on a
the Vatican created
One of them
Islam
motherfuckers
and
was
they
dead.
created atheism and the Jesuits created. I don't know if there's any truth or validity to any of that, but what I do know that I can actually go and show you for a fact is that Karl Marx was given a big fat check from Rothschild. And said, here you go, Karl, go spread atheism and communism all over the world. And that's exactly what Karl Marx did,
Rothschild's
too.
first name was.
So, you know, that I know for a fact. That is something that nobody can dispute. This stuff about the Jesuits and the Vatican and stuff, you know, that I don't have any solid information on that yet. Hopefully I will be. But yeah. Jesus' Lord says, financially backed by oligarchs.
So there was a member of the Rothschild family that was around.
Absolutely.
Because they're too small to have the success that they're having.
I'm trying to figure out which Rothschild is he talking about.
They're definitely getting money from somewhere. And
well, of course they are.
Smart enough to realize that.
Of course they are. They definitely have. They definitely have the financial backing of the elite families. Yeah, absolutely they do. Because the elite families want atheism. They want listen. Whether you're a Christian, a pagan, a Jew,
always the Jews.
Doesn't matter. In the scheme
but you're
of
blaming
things,
the Jews, Vaughn.
in regards to what these elites are, okay? Because the elites want to keep us spiritually weak.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Why?
What can that happen?
Because they know stuff that you and I aren't privy to. There is information out there that you and I are not privy to. And some people believe it's buried in the Vatican's vaults. Some people believe it's under the paw of the Sphinx. I don't know where it is, but I suspect that there is information somewhere that we are just not privy to, and that they are privy to, and that we need to understand that. Well, for example, there's not one elitist that's an atheist. Not one. Not one. Not a Rockefeller, not a Rothschild, not a Morgan, Carnegie, Warburg, Vanderbilt. None of the elites are an atheist. Not one. That right there should be your first clue that atheism has something wrong with it.
Who was he around?
Right?
All right. So we got Red Fang in here. Red Fang, how you doing? Vacco, how you guys doing?
Mic check, mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, Matt.
All right. What's going on?
1836.
We're just sitting here talking about atheists support the New World Order and their part in all of this. You know, they want total sexual freedom. They want to get rid of religion. They want to take away the freedom of speech, at least for religious people anyway. They are more for oppression than you think. You know what I mean? I think that they want the borders gone. And they don't got a problem with everything just being one big giant country.
Man, they have,
if you know what I mean, globalism.
That's a really good point. I never really considered that.
That's what they want, is the one world government and a new world order. That's what they want. That's the whole premise of it. That you have global government, instead of country government or state government.
Before I started this show, right, I looked up, because, you know, when you're dealing with the atheists, you have to get the technical definition for everything. So I was looking up the technical definition for socialism.
Just go through like Google images
showed up on that.
On any of the Rothschilds. Their airlines are terrible.
Guess what word showed up on that?
I feel sorry for them.
Leftism.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That's funny too because I mean most leftists are.
So he gave him
But most socialists are leftists
really?
by nature anyway. I don't think you could be a socialist and be a conservative at the same time. I don't know. I've never heard of a conservative socialist. I don't know if such a thing exists.
Some guy is saying Hulk Hogan and the NWO. We're not talking about Hulk Hogan and the NWO. That's a wrestling faction. We're talking about real life here.
Yeah, we're not talking about wrestling. We're talking about the real New World Order.
Yeah, but
as pointed out by Ronald Reagan, as pointed out by George Bush Jr., as pointed out by numerous other people.
Yeah, G-Man, I think you. I think I agree with you on. You said it quite a few times in the past about how.
Of course, you agreed.
You know, the atheists are also going to be persecuted by those heading up the New World Order because it's going to be a religion, and they're going to be required also to wear the mark of the beast and stuff like that. I think.
Worship the beast too.
Yeah, I think atheism, because it doesn't have a basis for morality and stuff like that, you're going to have a lot of individuals in there who are going to be justifying not every atheist, but maybe a good handful will try to justify some of the atrocious things and policies that those who are heading up the New World Order are trying to implement into the U.S. and other countries. And I think so atheism may be at the forefront as a tool to usher in those things. But then once people are more accepting of these policies of the New World Order, then atheism would be under heavy persecution, as well as the Christians and every other theistic, every other person who doesn't hold
they came for the Christians,
to the same view as the New World Order. That's what I believe. That's what I
believe. Some wild shit. You believe that giving your
so
family
the atheist,
poison is good,
as well as the Christian, could be under this heavy obligation to pledge allegiance to the beast, whatever that is, whatever that's going to be.
How many times have we been in these Google Hangouts where we ask atheists, like, this all popular question: if you don't believe that a God exists, why do you talk about him so much? And what's the answer? The answer is because how religious people affect their politics.
No, their answer is they get on here like a 2-year-old and whine and cry how much God is oppressing them. Oh, I'm just so oppressed because
it's sad when
I'm just so oppressed.
Don't even exist oppressed anyone.
I'm like, give me a break, dude. What is your problem? I mean, you're oppressed by my belief. So what?
You're a pagan, Vaughn.
What has that got to do with the Constitution in China? I mean, seriously. It's ridiculous.
They always talk about how people's religious beliefs is affecting their is affecting their politics, and they don't want nobody telling them that they can't have abortions and you can't do this and you can't do that.
Yep,
basically, it sounds like they want anarchy. But the point of the matter is, if they are saying and if they're telling the truth about doing all of this for political reasons, that should tell you what their agenda is. And I'm telling you, they want to go back to the days of Joseph Stalin, back to the days of Mao, and they want to go to these governments that didn't have a God in it whatsoever.
The IQ.
Kill whoever they want to kill,
perfectly fits the IQ of a lot of my family.
Take whatever they want to take, whenever they want to do it, and they don't understand what to do.
Socialism accepted it.
Yep.
And especially, and like you stated earlier, the abolition of private property. That's a big one for them.
There, I don't want
if we get soccer in here, that's great. We get soccer in here. Yeah, Red Fang, I'm sorry.
Red Fang, I think you're breaking up, Red Fang. Go ahead.
Get off
that. Can you hear me?
Walmart internet, Red Fang.
Okay. I don't want to go back to Joseph Stalin. I don't want to go back to that time period where black people are getting discriminated against and treated like trash. I don't want to see people getting murdered on the street because of whatever belief or non-belief that they do have.
Okay, are you an atheist, Red Fang? You're an atheist, right?
Yes, I'm an atheist.
Okay, so how much religious freedom should religious people have in America, according to your politics?
They should be good.
They can believe whatever they want to believe as long as it stays outside of the government and that stuff.
That's
not why you want a Marxist.
I am telling you,
Red Fang, I already know that's a lie.
Give them
You
credit.
think I can go
They
out
have
here and
white
hold a
trash
Sam
and yellow
Hain
trash.
out in
That's
public
true.
park? No, I can't. You know why? Because you guys passed that
You
legislation.
can't. You just
that
got paid.
prohibited- No. Red Fang. I know this for a fact, bro, because I tried to hold a Sam Hain in a public park. Can't do it.
Y'all leave
Because
Red
a
Fang
bunch of
alone.
atheists
He
went to the
talk
government
good.
and whined and cried like little 2-year-olds. Oh, mommy and daddy government, please protect me from those evil thieves.
Street preachers.
What a load of crap, man.
Street preachers.
Hey, at least Red Fang hopped his ass in there.
Sam Hain in a public park today because of you atheists. Period. Christians didn't do it. The Jews didn't do it. Not even the Muslims complained. No, it
Vaughn
was
is
the
fucking
atheists
lit
that
tonight.
whined and cried
ate
that
his
I
Wheaties.
or any other pagan wanted to hold a Sam Hain in a public park. Oh my God, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do
you
it.
guys
It's
you're
evil.
going to
It's
get
evil. It's evil.
Don't
You
let
can't
the
do
man
it.
Back to the
Shit.
original question here, and I want Red Fang to answer it. Red Fang, if you want to go get Sokka or somebody to come in here and even this up, you can. But the question is still this. You said that you want people to practice their religious practices at home and not in the public. How the heck is that the freedom of religion?
As long as you keep it out of politics and out of public schools, that is the law of the land. Separation of church and state is
Separation of church and state is a lie. Separation of church and state was mentioned in a letter from Jefferson to the Danbury Baptists, but there is absolutely no law. No law.
Well, Red Fang, are you saying that you're cool with people practicing their religion so long as if it doesn't infringe on the freedoms and liberties of other people who don't hold to those views, right?
Right.
That's fair.
All right. So you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with there being like a. Well, hold on 1 second. So you don't have a problem if there was like in public school there was a class for Christian studies or Muslim studies and stuff, and students had the option of going to those classes?
I don't see why that's a problem.
Yeah, no, because that's private property. That is a publicly run school run by the state. So no, if it's in a private school, go for it.
But why would it be why would it be wrong for these public schools to have classes where students
like
have the option of going to one of these classes?
They do have those classes in colleges. It's part of mythology. The class on mythology, you go learn about other.
I see the thing that was getting to, but it goes back to what you said earlier, and I really want this point answered. Like, I really want you to answer this question. You said that you don't want to go back to a Joseph Stalin type country, but Joseph Stalin didn't want religion practice in the open either.
Did I say I
got more in common than you think?
Openly? If you want to,
if you admitted that you was a Christian, or that you was religious during the reign of Joseph Stalin, God helped you. You know, because you were dead.
I have never said that. I never said to keep religion closed off. If you want to preach on the side of the street corner, go for it. But guess what? You're going to probably get some backlash at that street corner. Because not everyone wants your mess.
You want a secular government, right? You want a government post. You want a government that Joseph Stalin had, that Mao had, and some of these other communists.
How are you even getting that from my mouth when I say it's
so how do
fine?
I have freedom of religion when I can't even go outside my house and preach the gospel?
Exactly. I can't go outside my house and hold a Sam Hain. I can't go outside and practice any type of paganism. I get arrested immediately.
Go pay the rental fee of the land, and you can hold one. It's not hard.
Red Fang, listen to me. Listen to me.
College, I'm sorry. 1 second. Pamela Pickles is wondering about the mythology thing. When I went to college and did religious studies for my little one semester that I did that with, they did classify Christianity and all these other religions as mythology. That's why college is. I'm definitely gonna do a separate hangout on that topic.
Separate hangout on college. Oh God.
So it ain't nothing but a bunch of secular dumb nonsense too. Anyway, Vaughn, go ahead.
Yes, I want to make this abundantly clear. Okay, atheists push this separation of church and state thing because it's really all they've got. Honey, I need to talk. Let me talk. Okay, go.
Daddy, we
Besides,
want
you need to go to bed
attention.
anyway. Go to
Daddy,
bed.
play
Go to
with us.
school.
We ain't
Come on.
seen you all day, Daddy.
Anyway,
Daddy,
the atheists try to
on.
push this separation
Daddy,
of church and state, but
we
it doesn't
ain't seen
exist.
you in a week,
The
Daddy.
term
Come
separation of
on.
church and state is not a law.
Daddy.
It was a message.
I love you.
I love you
I'm
too.
trying to
Thank
give you
Now,
affection.
please
Why
let go of
don't
me
you
and
give
go to
me
bed.
none?
Let go of me and go to bed. Anyway,
why don't you go take care of your daughter first, and then come back and finish?
It's bad even when G-Man is
hang on a
like,
second.
fuck, man, get
Take
your
care of
kids.
your daughter first.
Goddamn.
All right. Anyway, like I was saying, separation of church and state is not a law. Where they get the term separation of church and state from is from a letter that Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptists, warning them of
where
a
it comes
future separation of church and state that may come in the future. That's where they're getting this from. They're not. There is no law about separating church. I mean, the very first thing that George Washington. The very first thing that George Washington did when he accepted the presidency of the United States is he knelt down and did what? Oh, he prayed. Okay, separation of church and state, my rear end. And not only that, but Continental Congress used to open their sessions with a prayer every single day.
Did he do that, Vaughn?
No, you're trying to say that the government cannot sponsor a religion, which is totally wrong, because government back during the days of the Founding Father sponsored Christianity and paganism all the time. They did it all the time. It was not, there is no such thing as separation of church and state. The Christians were praying, the Jews were praying, the pagans were praying, the Indians were praying. Everybody was praying all over the place. You're a liar, sir. You're a liar. You are twisting history, and I can't stand it when somebody twists history. I can't stand that. Because I grew up with history. I love history. Especially American history. I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Red Fang.
When church out of government, there are several letters notifying, saying that the presidents did not want church in government.
There's only one document.
No, there's
one. Excuse me, it's Red Fang. I am the amateur historian here, not you. There is only one document.
I'm the amateur historian.
One document, Red Fang. There's only one document that does not speak about religion. And that document is the Treaty of Tripoli, where we had to come to a meeting with the Muslims over spices. We needed spices to keep our food fresh, so we had to deal with the Muslims. So we lied, we embellished, and said, we're a secular nation. That's the only document, though, that we said that to, and we did it because we needed those spices from the Muslims. Other than that, there is no document. In fact, every document put out by the Founding Fathers, in the year of our Lord, 1776. Well, who is that? What Lord? What are you talking? Little Lord Fauntleroy? Is that what they're talking about? Hey, Red Fang, listen, you'll get an education. No, because you don't know history. You don't know history.
All right.
No, you're trying to twist history.
Hold on.
I know you.
Every document by the founders said, "In the year of our Lord," big letterhead. Okay, Lord who?
There you go.
In the year of our Lord, 1776. What does that mean, Red Fang? Every document that the Founding Fathers wrote had "In the year of our Lord" in big letters over top of it. There's only one document, the Treaty of Tripoli, where it does not say that. And like I said, the Muslims did not want to trade with Christians.
Founding Fathers.
So we called ourselves a secular nation.
Vaughn, let's hear from Red Fang. I want to get Red Fang to respond. Go ahead, Red Fang.
Okay. There are several the separation of church and state is a law. That's why there's no prayer in school. That's why there's none of that. That's why you can't have a whole bunch of Christian stuff in the church in school because we are built around having several religions in this country. We are not a Christian nation. We are not Muslim. We are none of that stuff.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Red Fang. Let me ask you a question, Red Fang.
Let me ask you a question.
Historically speaking, has America been a secular nation? I'm sorry. Historically speaking, has America only had a secular government? Yes or no?
No.
Say that again. I missed that.
Okay.
It wasn't for you, Vaughn.
Red Fang, from the time that the Constitution was written, okay, Has America always been
hold on.
secular? Had a secular
Red Fang
government?
about to swallow
Yes or
his
no?
damn mic.
Red Fang, I know you're reading Google, man. You don't gotta pretend like you're not doing it.
I'm actually trying to order food for my little girl right now. Hold on one second.
All right. So I want him to answer that question, but before he gets around to answering that question, and I think it's going to be an interesting answer, he's going to have to say no. You know what I mean? He's going to have to agree with Von Helton, what Von was saying about how God did, how he was involved in politics. And I'm going to prove why that's significant versus this government.
It's very significant.
Government allows today.
One of the bedrock foundations of this nation is religious freedom. Well, you can't have religious freedom in a secular society because secular society says that religion it doesn't exist, that it's not real. So every secular society that's ever been in history has always abolished religion. Why? Because secular society doesn't believe religion exists, doesn't believe that it's legitimate.
He happens to be communist as well.
That's right. That's right.
Can you imagine these guys saying and doing the things that they're doing under the days of those guys? Oh my God, the FBI be all over these guys. All this nonsense.
Yeah,
absolutely. On the internet.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Red Fang, are you there? Red Fang. I don't know how fast you can read that Google, my friend, but you got to answer this question before we move on. I want your answer on this, Red Fang. Has our government here in the United States always been secular? Yes or no?
Yeah, good question. And it's an easy question. Especially 1913. Oh my gosh.
Red Fang.
I'm going to get me a Mountain Dew. I'll be back. Maybe he'll find it by then.
He's probably still taking
So, you want to respond to this, man? Because I know this happens to be your stuff, man, the politics stuff. So, you want to respond to this? I'm dying to hear it, Nancy.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay, here we go. This is Red Fang. Yeah, so Red Fang. America, as the United States of America, always had a secular government. Yes or no?
Secular government?
Yeah, because remember, our government was built on the republic. Okay, so was our republic built on a secular government? Yes or no?
Cheese meal with a large Coke and rice. You want the double quarter cheese, no pickle and onion?
Yes. Don't change history with me now. Answer the question.
As far as I recall, we were a secular government. I'm not totally sure off the top of my head.
America started off as a secular government?
Sorry, I'm doing multiple things at once. So, okay. So we are a secular government.
I didn't ask you what we are today. I asked you what are we? What were we when we first started? The first 100 years in America, was our government secular or was our government religious?
British rule?
Was our government secular or was it religious?
It was secular.
Oh, okay. All right. So tell me this.
Religious.
Our government always been secular.
Government.
I'm sorry, what?
We were never a religious government.
Okay. So
oh my God.
Are you from the United States, Red Fang? Do you live in America, Red Fang?
Yes, I live in America. I live in Denver. Denver, Colorado.
So tell me this then. Since our government has never been religious, whose idea was it to put "In God We Trust" on the money? Just curious.
The religious people. Do you not realize that God?
Are you aware that the college universities was started by religious people? Are you aware of that? That the universities that you go to today was started by religious people. Are you aware of that?
Are you also aware that our money did not always have that on it?
Who idea was it to say, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God? What secular person came up with that idea?
Yeah, was that a secularist coming up with that?
No, that was a stupid religious thing. That was a stupid religious thing, but that does not mean
Are you a millennial or whatever?
Just inside of it.
The reason why I'm asking you this, Red Fang, because it's obvious you don't know what you're talking about regarding history. Obviously,
I'm pretty sure I know this better than you do.
Our major universities were were very
all of them.
When they first got
all of them were religious.
Our school systems
Most were Christian, but there were a few pagans too.
Prayer done in schools. They was reading the Bible in the schools.
Yeah, and God.
Not since our government was
G-Man. Hold on. Let me tell you this. The American money was the God we trust was put in war.
Yes, and do you know why? Because of people like you. No, it was put on there because of people like you.
People like me. What the fuck?
People like you were sitting there telling everybody that we were a secular nation. That's why we had to put the God on the money, and so that people would know.
No, it was to scare people from the Red Scare. That's why. It was because of the Red Scare.
Red Fang. When the Muslims declared a fatwa against us, why did they declare a fatwa against the United States? Did they declare it on us because we were a secular nation? Huh?
What the fuck are you talking about?
In 1776, the Muslims declared a fatwa against the United States. They declared war on us.
We were in.
Do you know why? Do you know why they did it?
Are you sure you're not thinking of the British?
No, I'm not thinking of the British. The Muslims put a fatwa. The Muslims
claimed independence.
Listen to me. The Muslims put a fatwa on the United States in 1776. Do you know why? Do you know why?
I've never even heard of this.
What was the Muslims' reasoning?
What are you talking about?
What was the Muslims' reasoning for putting a fatwa on the United States? What was their reasoning behind it?
A fat wad? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, all right. You have absolutely no clue what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, let me help you out.
No, you're talking complete gibberish.
Let me help you out here. Okay, in 1776, Islam put a fatwa on the United States. They declared war on us.
Okay? In fact,
would you please hush? I'm going to try and help you here. I'm trying to help you if you be quiet. Please, let me help you. Okay.
Well, it's hard to understand your toothless talk.
You're still talking and not listening. See, and you're not going to learn anything if you're talking. The reason.
Well, when I ask you to tell me what a fat
I'm trying to get to that. If you hush, I'll tell you everything. But you got to hush, man. You got to listen. All right. Now listen. Here's the deal. In 1776, Islam declared war against the United States. They put a fatwa on us. They put a jihad on us, if you will. All right. Why did Islam do that? Islam did that because, quote, we were a Christian nation, unquote. They didn't do it because we were a secular nation. Sorry, that's not why they did it. They did it because we were a Christian nation. That's why they did it. Then, what did Jefferson do in response? Oh, Jefferson created the U.S. Marines, and the U.S. Marines boarded our ships, went to Tripoli, kicked the Muslims a new a-hole, got our sailors back, and brought them back home. And that is why the U.S. Marines, to this very day, sing from the halls of Montezuma to what? Oh, the shores of Tripoli. Why? Because they went to the Islamists and they kicked their tail and they got our sailors back because Muslims were hoarding. They were enslaving our sailors. Okay, the Muslims were enslaving our sailors. They were literally capturing our sailors and holding them for ransom. They were at war with us, and Islam to this day is still at war with us, which a lot of people don't know. That fatwa placed on us by Islam in 1776 that hasn't been rescinded. No Muslim. Give me the name of one Muslim cleric, imam, Ayatollah that's ever rescinded that fatwa. No, they never have. We are still at war with Islam, and not radical Islam either. Just Islam, period. Just Islam. Okay, this radical and moderate thing, that's not in the Quran. That's all created by the media. But anyway, but yeah, they declared war on us because we were a Christian nation. And because we were a Christian nation, that allows for all the religions to have freedom of religion. Okay, you get it? That's why it exists. And freedom of religion is the absolute bedrock of this nation. It is why I'm proud to be a pagan and be an American at the same time. There is no other nation on earth where I, as a pagan, can be proud to live there. You know why? Because pagans are persecuted everywhere they go, except one country, America. Okay, that's why I am a very proud American, and that's why I will always be a very proud American, because America was founded on religious freedom. Period. End of story.
Crimson 60620. The StreamYard link is in the live chat. Scroll down, and you'll be able to see it. It says StreamYard in it. Click on that, and you'll be able to join the chat. When you come in here, make sure I know that you're Crimson before I let you in. Before I let you come in here. All right. If I don't know who you are, I will not let you come in here. All right. So again, okay, Red Bang left. If there's an atheist out there, like a sock account, or because I don't think Drake knows a lot about this, we can get like a Sokka in here or somebody who knows a lot about this topic. We would prefer a good representative of atheists to come in here rather than people who are trying to feel us out and trying to talk about a topic they don't know nothing about.
The problem is that any atheist that actually knows history knows I'm telling the truth. So I mean, it's got to be kind of hard, you know.
Off as being secular, you know what I mean? And somebody put here in the live chat, I thought this was an interesting statement. Beckel, are you there, Beckel? Beckel. All right. So the statement that he put here, Hillbilly put this here. I'm going to let everybody see this. He says, religious freedom is possible because this is a secular nation. And they got a funny picture of you on it, Vaughn. So it must be one of your haters.
Well,
so,
I think that tells you all you need to know, right?
This is a secular nation.
So Vaughn, you're completely wrong.
I am, huh?
Yes.
You sure about that shit?
Because
Vaughn, let him talk, Vaughn. Let him talk, Vaughn. Mute, and then we're gonna let him finish, and then we're gonna respond. So go ahead, Xavier.
They put a fatwa on us because
oh shit, that's Xavier.
We were still considered a part of the British Christian Empire, and we created the Treaty of Tripoli in 1793, which declared that the United States was always and forever a secular nation, and the fatwa was actually rescinded.
Xavier, what school did you go to?
West Point, the United States Military Academy.
Okay, great. So tell me this. If our country started off as being a secular nation, then that means our government was started by atheists, right?
Our government was started by deists at the time. Some of them may be atheists, but atheism wasn't really a thing at that point in time. But deists, Christians, and...
There's speculation that they might have been deists. Tell the story correctly.
Well, no,
correct?
they were no.
That they might have been deists.
Thomas Paine was a deist. You cannot say
Thomas Paine in his book The Glory of God says that he wasn't. So
hold on 1 second. George Washington, what was his faith, Xavier?
George Washington was most likely a
not most
Christian.
Likely. I didn't ask you what he was most likely.
He
was his faith. That is a knowledge claim I'm asking you to make.
Well, he was most likely a non-practicing Christian.
Okay, so you don't know what he was then?
No, so the thing is, we have his writings. We know he attended church, but in his writings, he was not.
Doesn't make you a Christian,
huh?
Yeah, going to church will make nobody a Christian.
That's why I said he's a non-practicing Christian.
The churches.
That's why I specifically said he's most likely a non-practicing Christian.
So Xavier, where did the early settlers come from?
Which ones? Vikings, Native Americans.
We rebelled against England. What was their religious beliefs? Were they atheists when they came here? Atheists, start Christian colleges.
So the colleges don't matter in the founding of the country.
Xavier, hold on 1 second.
That's a red herring.
Hold on, Xavier. Okay, answer the question. What kind of atheists start Christian colleges? Let's answer the question.
So atheists wouldn't start Christian colleges.
Right. What about public schools? Would atheists have prayer in public schools?
Atheists would not have prayers in public schools.
Right. When was prayer banned in school? When was prayer banned in school? Public prayer banned in school. When was it banned?
It's never been banned in school. It's been banned. It's been okay. Are you gonna let me speak?
I know.
Are you gonna let me speak?
People that were suspended.
Are you gonna let me
carrying a Bible to school, let alone pray?
You're bullshitting, Vaughn. You're fucking bullshitting because it's not illegal to pray in school. It's illegal. It's illegal for a teacher to lead prayer.
I didn't say anything about an individual praying. I said public prayer, like a teacher leading prayer. Okay?
That is illegal, but you said prayer.
In our early school systems, that's what they were doing. So answer the question: what kind of atheist does that?
G-Man,
Can I say something about what you're saying?
I want him to answer my question first.
I'm going to answer your question because I got a better answer.
I want him to answer the question first. You just got in here. Let's let him finish. Answer the question, Xavier.
Okay. So atheists would have not led prayer. And
right. Nor would atheists allow prayer in our schools either.
What do you mean by allow prayer? Do you mean teacher-led prayer, or do you mean prayer?
Any-led prayer.
You just
any-led prayer.
Student-led prayer is acceptable.
Student-led prayer is not acceptable. Nope, sorry.
You just said that George Washington himself was a theist. All right, because that's how I'm at the final for this and whatnot. Okay, you just admitted that he was a theist. You know that our universities were started by believers, by Christians early on in our country. Crimson, I don't know why you got your hand on your face, my friend. You're gonna get a chance to talk in a minute, and then we're gonna move on from this conversation. All right. You also acknowledged that that actually I think you was getting ready to say that public prayer, as far as like a teacher leading prayer with the students, would eventually be abolished in our schools later on, like in the 1970s. This happened, I think. Where the supposed separation of church and state actually happened or whatever.
That separation of church and state crap, I think, started was late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, the late 70s and whatnot, right? So I want to know how the heck you get Christian universities from secularists. How you get religious people in office talking about God in their speeches and all this other stuff when they're atheists and all these other things.
Oh, another thing too, G-Man, you can't run for public office and be an atheist.
We wouldn't have a republic. We would have a communistic nation.
You do know secular doesn't refer to atheists, by the way.
Yeah, atheist is a secularist. Secularist doesn't believe in a God either.
No, seculars has no concept of a God in there. It is
Secularist
how
is a
the
humanist.
it is
All right.
whether the government is run from a
Xavier?
theistic position.
Xavier, what God does a humanist believe in then? Please enlighten me. Enlighten me.
A humanist could believe in a number of gods. There's
Give me
humanist
one.
does not.
Give me one.
Abrahamic gods, Buddhistic gods, Tao gods.
No,
all of those gods. You can be a humanist.
Secular humanism lacks.
You didn't say secular humanism. You said humanism. Humanism and secular humanism are not the same thing. Or do you not understand that, Vaughn?
Okay, Xavier, I disagree with all of your statements, but thank you for debunking atheism. Crimson 60620. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. Let's ask you this. G-Man, have you heard of something called the Jefferson Bible?
The Jefferson Bible. What is that?
Oh, you haven't?
I have.
Oh,
and I can discuss it.
When I don't know something, man. I don't pretend to know something I don't know nothing about.
Okay, well now, first of all, G-Man, let me bring you up to speed, because a lot of people have some misconceptions about the Jeffersonian Bible.
He hasn't finished yet. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah,
to say.
well, I'll let him finish. Yeah.
Go ahead, Crimson.
I asked the question. Please, you can probably explain it better, Vaughn, since G-Man is going to suck your dick for the answer.
Wait a minute, Vaughn.
I don't think that'll happen, but because I don't swing that way. I don't swing that way. So
1 second, Vaughn. 1 second.
I didn't say you did. I said he did. Remember, he has to have the Holy Spirit. Tell him to stop getting
Crimson. Listen, man. The reason why I opened the room up to atheists, because I want you guys to be able to have a voice in here and to be able to express your opinions in here. But I have rules. Do it again, and you ain't gonna be expressing nothing in here.
Okay. So
And I'm dead serious.
I'm sorry for mentioning
There was no vulgar language in my room, and I will throw you out. You are not in Drag's room. You are not in one of these animals' rooms. You are in my room. Obey the rules or goodbye, and I don't care what your opinion is.
You're not an animal? You're not an animal? Are you a plant?
So, Crimson, do you have anything intelligent to say about what we're talking about?
Okay.
You as an atheist support the New World Order.
I do want to hear Crimson's interpretation of the Jeffersonian Bible, because.
But before he goes into that, I want to know why he believes he doesn't support the New World Order, because I know he does.
Well, they all do. They just do it in a roundabout way, but they all do.
What's the New World Order? Please tell me what the New World Order is.
New World Order, Bilderberg. The New World Order, the idea of the New World Order is that it would be a cashless and borderless society. There would be no countries anymore. It would be a one world government, a one world cash, one world religion, one world everything. It would all be
100% sexual freedom.
Yeah, it would all be secularist. Everything would come out of Brussels. You know, it would all be centralized into a government entity, a global entity, as opposed to individual freedom, individual liberty, you know, sovereignty of nations. That's all being abolished. You know, and there's a lot of us out there that are not cool with that, man. Sorry.
Okay. So, real quick question. If you want to talk about New World Order, is it not that you want to establish a kingdom of God where it's no borders, everyone bows down to one religion? Is that not what you are advocating for?
Okay, so let's get back on topic here a moment. Crimson, I'm going to rebroadcast you in a minute. Do you, as an atheist, support the New World Order, yes or no? Do you want to see total sexual freedom? Do you want to see a cashless society? Because, you know, with your data and your science and everything and whatnot. Do you want to see Christians ultimately persecuted to the point of death? And I can't wait until you say no. Okay, are you interested in a voting system existing? Do you support the freedom of speech? Okay, do you believe that there are certain things that children should not hear? Because yes, they do watch YouTube. And they might hear a grown man say what he said to another grown man. I don't have parental restrictions on this.
Okay,
and you
cool.
seem to care about that. You seem to be a troll.
Cool. Let me ask you this question, G man. Did not Jesus say? Sell all you own and give to the poor? Did not Jesus say that?
Crimson, tell me this, Crimson. Do you support eugenics? I know you support evolution. So do you support eugenics? You got to unmute, Crimson. Stay on topic. Crimson, you got to unmute.
No. So, like I was saying, did not Jesus say, sell all you own and give to the poor? Did not he say that?
That has nothing.
That has absolutely nothing to do with what we're discussing.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
It's taken out of context anyway.
I know what he's trying to do. Yes, he said that. What's your point, Crimson?
But is not he was advocating for a cashless society? Who did he say? No, wait. Who did he say will be the greatest among everyone?
Okay, so let's deal with the first question that you asked me. When you asked me about giving away, did Jesus tell us to give away all of our earthly possessions? Right? Can you please let everybody know what verse you're talking about in the Bible?
You mean which verses? Because he said it multiple times.
I would like for you to go to the book and the verse and break it down for my audience what's being said.
Oh, please tell me. I don't know. Because I remember he said, wait. Because you're making a point about something, G.
No, you just quoted the scriptures. And I want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. I want you to open a book up. I want you to read the verse. And I want you to explain to everybody what you're reading.
G-Man, let's stay on topic because you asked about a cashless society. Are we going to stay on topics?
Right, and I want to stay on it, but before we
do no. Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Like that. But my thing is I want to make sure that you know what you're talking about.
Let me ask you this. Let me just address this.
Why don't you go to Google and find the
Acts? What?
Crimson, you're disrupting my room, dude. Why don't you go
I don't care.
Oh,
you sorry.
Okay, great. And if you don't care about disrupting my room, then you're done. Right nuts in here.
Yeah.
Let me
finally, hopefully some intelligent conversation here.
I don't know. I've been listening the entire time, and I've been hearing people get censored, muted, people getting talked over. I'm not sure
because unlike you, Drag, we don't allow people to disrupt the damn chat. Wow, what a shock.
So
you said out of your own mouth yesterday, Drag, to me in chat, I don't care if somebody comes in and disrupts the whole daggone thing. Well, see, we don't believe that.
I did not
we don't
say
believe
that, Vaughn. No,
you
Vaughn, I did not say
yeah.
that. I said, I know, I did. Vaughn,
I'm going to unbroadcast Vaughn for a moment, okay? Crimson, Vaughn, I'll bring you back in here in a minute. Crimson, I'm going to ask you one last time. Read the scripture that you was talking about. Dragnet, stick around. You might learn something. Go ahead, Crimson.
Let's talk about how the first Christians were fucking communist community.
Can you please read the Bible verse that you was talking about selling possessions? Do you know how to read? Please read the verse.
It's pretty disrespectful.
Are you really telling me? Do I know how to read? How do you spell your?
Okay, so let me get to the point that I think he was trying to make, guys, regarding selling all your earthly possessions. I know in communist societies, they believe that there shouldn't be classes and that everybody should be equal. And he believes that that's the same thing. Okay, and the reason why I want him to read his Bible verse because he can actually be adding to what Jesus said in other passages, or he can be taking the literal interpretation of what he said, I believe, to the rich young ruler. I want to know which one he's talking about because atheists have a habit of twisting things, and if you have any experience with dealing with them, you would know that. So Crimson, we'll go back to you one more time. Remember, atheists are supposed to be more intelligent than Christians, right? I just actually you haven't done it yet. Read
okay, let me read it.
Stop exposing atheism.
Let me read it. I'm sorry, G-Man. Her lovers were like the emissions of a donkey.
Are we talking about the Bible verse concerning notice here, I'm trying to be serious here. And these are the people that are claiming to be logical. They're claiming to be logical. They're claiming
Did Crimson claim to be logical?
They're claiming that these are the intelligent people.
Did Crimson say that?
Becco, I don't see you, Beck. Oh, there you go, Beck. Here we go. Excellent. Here we go. So
I don't remember where Crimson said that.
So Crimson, I'm assuming you're talking about the rich young ruler. You're not coming back in here, Crimson. So I'm just going to assume it. Okay? Since you didn't want to utilize your freedom to be able to talk about the topic, you're not getting back in here. So let's talk about this here a minute, okay? When Jesus told the rich young ruler to sell all of his possessions, what was being said there? I believe the conversation started off earlier. Beck will correct me if I'm wrong. Where the rich young ruler is trying to figure out how he can end up going to heaven or whatever, right? He says Jesus said, keep the laws, statutes, commandments, we keep the laws and whatnot, right? And he says, been doing that from his youth. And he says, you lack one thing: sell all of your possessions and come follow me. That was actually being said. He said nothing about no political nothing. Basically, the rich young ruler loved his material possessions more than he loved Jesus. Notice that Jesus didn't ask everybody else in the scriptures to do the exact same thing. This was a direct quote to the rich young ruler. So Crimson, guess what, my friend? You just got owned. All right? Learn how to read before you come in here talking about stuff you don't know what you're talking about. And if there's any Christians out there that disagree with me, they can come in here and say, Dreamer, you have a point or something like that. Ain't going to happen because ain't no Christian doing that. Jesus was speaking to the rich young ruler, not all of us. All right? So, Becco, do you got anything that you want to say? And then we're going to let the leader of the Dragoons say what he's got to say. Yeah.
No, you already covered what I wanted to cover. Definitely taking that passage out of context. And again, it's funny because this is one of those stereotypical traits of an atheist. Again, not all atheists do that, but it's very stereotypical. They just throw a verse out there. They don't know the address. They don't know where it came from. They don't know the context. So they just see a couple of words that they hear from some pastors or some other Christians, and they assume that it means this other thing when they really don't know that it means. So it's very stereotypical of the.
Hey, Becco. What speciation is Becco? Isn't speciation the belief that horses jump rope and skip hopscotch? Isn't that speciation? Because I said it that way, right? That means it's automatically right. Or how about this? The theory of evolution is the theory of people jumping in mud and getting bathing in it. Because I said that. It doesn't make it true because I said it, right? You know what I mean? Crimson comes in here, he mentions a scripture, thinks he knows what he's talking about, believes he can't be corrected about it whatsoever. You know what I mean? And we're just automatically supposed to believe him. That is the atheist way. The stupid is strong with that one.
Well, him in particular, he just sounds to me like he hasn't had enough discussion with a lot of Christians. Usually the people that he surrounds himself with are people who are not educated or studied enough on the scriptures in order to refute any of his objections. So, but he hasn't met us. So at least I've never met him. So,
right. So, Dragon, do atheists support the New World Order, yes or no?
Well, I'd have to clarify something. I don't speak for every atheist, and nor does any one atheist speak for all atheists. So you might want to correct that point real quick. So, for what your depiction of the New World Order is, I don't know any atheist who actually supports any of that stuff. So, if you could give me a reference, that'd be great.
Okay. So, do you support the borders going down? Yes or no? No borders.
No. When have I ever said anything like that?
Okay, great. So you agree with Donald Trump when Donald Trump says he wants to go to wall, then, right?
I agree with literally every president in the last 16 years that say we need to do border control and reform immigration.
So you get 1 brownie point. That's very good, right? Now, good.
I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to actually just ask people what their position is rather than just presume it.
Sexual freedoms, right? Do you read that?
I don't know what that means.
Total sexual freedom means that you can be LGBTQ and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay? That you can be a pedophile and there's nothing wrong with it. That you can practice bestiality.
Bestiality, yeah.
What's wrong with bestiality?
I'm not sure where you got that definition from. I've literally never heard that.
Dragonaut, the left in this
I
country.
actually want to see your face with this one, if you don't mind.
The left in this country, Drag, is literally pushing pretty much everything that there is to. I mean, literally everything goes. I mean,
yep.
So who is saying all this stuff?
So, direct question,
Nancy Pelosi.
Direct question, right?
I got three people talking to me, so I'm not sure.
Okay, can you cut your camera on, please?
Why do I need to cut? My wife is in the room and she's not decent. Are you trying to see my wife naked?
Great. Don't do that. Don't. So answer the question. What's wrong with bestiality as an atheist?
Because animals can't consent.
Animals can't consent, therefore bestiality is wrong. So you do believe in absolute moral values?
I didn't say that, but okay.
Aren't humans animals too?
How do you get an animal to consent? I'm curious.
You can't. That's kind of the issue.
Are you an animal?
Are we talking about human animals? Or are we talking like the colloquial definition or scientific definition?
Animals and
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes or no?
Okay, no. So you can either specify what type of animal you mean, or I'm not going to answer the question.
Okay, so great. You claim, and you have said multiple times that human beings are animals. Okay, not just you, a whole bunch of your atheist buddies believe that we're animals. So you should have no problem with an animal having sex with another animal.
Okay, again, you're taking that out of context, but okay.
Well, okay, how about we actually take a look at what Mr. Hitchens said about this particular topic, and we'll watch that again, and we'll see what he had to say about it, and then we'll listen to what you got to say. How about that? And maybe we can get some learning here done today, okay? So let's go back to Mr. Hitchens. And Vaughn, I would love to hear your opinion about what you're about to listen to in a minute, all right? So here we go.
Dr. Craig, Mr. Hitchens, thank you so much. It's been great listening to you both. My question is for Mr. Hitchens. Mr. Hitchens, in your book, God is Not Great, you say that, quote, there are 4 irreducible objections to religious faith, end quote. The third being that religious faith, quote, is both the result and the cause of dangerous sexual repression, end quote. So here's my question for you. Is it that the Bible prohibits humans from having sex with animals? Or is that an example of dangerous sexual repression?
With the allusion I was making.
Is this the same clip you played earlier?
Yeah.
In the ordinary
Okay, yeah, I've already listened to that.
Okay, so what does the leader of the Dragoons have to say regarding?
I have to say that it helps when Christians don't take people's words out of context. It really helps with that, because what he was referring to were very specific instances. And actually, or you can just interrupt me as I'm talking. That works too.
When he was in this room earlier, I have all of these videos here to show anybody anytime I want to show you guys how this stuff can come back to haunt you. All right. So how about we get serious for a moment now? Okay. Do you as an atheist support? Do you want the government telling somebody that it is illegal for them to have sex with an animal?
Okay, you let me know when I can talk uninterrupted.
Go ahead. As a matter of fact, Drag, you are the only person in the room.
Okay, so the government is perfectly fine with mandating that we can't have sex with animals. And the reason for that has to do with exactly what I said before, the fact that animals cannot consent. Now, if we're talking about sodomy laws or we're getting specifics like that, then we can actually discuss whether those are valid edicts from our government or not, or whether that's an encroachment of people's rights. But again, that's within the context of these individuals, these entities being able to consent to sexual activity.
The Bible says that bestiality is an abomination unto God, just like LGBTQ is an abomination unto God. So,
okay.
That is again. I'm glad that you support the scriptures, and I'm very happy that you got 2 brownie points now that you don't support what is it? Total sexual freedom, which you don't believe that. Okay, you don't believe that a man should be able to have sex with an animal. Okay, is that fair? Is that a fair assessment that you do not believe that a man can have sex with an animal, right?
That is accurate.
Okay. Is it fair to say that what was the first point that we were talking about? I forgot. The first one was the
squirrel.
Sorry, what?
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
No, it wasn't a squirrel. It wasn't a squirrel.
Squirrel.
Tell me something. Do you support a cashless society?
Beckles dying.
Do I support a cashless society?
Yeah.
I already go cashless, so I mean that's sure.
Okay, how would you feel about money being completely gone and everybody getting chipped?
That's fine.
How do you feel about people getting the microchip and being forced to get it one day?
That's fine. Actually, I'm actually pretty okay with that because something like that might actually help prevent people's kids from going missing and help.
Well, that was going to be that was going to be the question I was going to ask you. Is that what that's the big claim is that it's it's to prevent kids from being kidnapped and that's a good idea. The problem is that couldn't the kidnapper just cut the daggone chip out of their hand and throw it away somewhere? And come on, man.
It depends on where it's placed. If it's placed somewhere right below the dermis or right below the epidermis where it can be easily seen, then sure. But if you're putting it down in the dermis or the subcutaneous tissue, you're going to have to be able to know what you're doing without killing that person, especially if it's near an artery.
How do you feel about God being in our government?
What do you mean God being in the government?
Yeah, God actually influencing our politics. Do you believe that we should have a government or a religious government?
Oh, I think we should have a secular government.
So you support Stalin, Mao, and some of these other communist dictators, then, right?
No, that's not what I said, actually.
Oh, okay, because
I didn't endorse socialism. I didn't endorse fascism. I didn't endorse communism. I didn't say anything about this.
What about Marxism?
I didn't endorse that either. Nope. I endorse us having a democratic republic
without it being communist.
Wait a minute, hold it. We're not a democracy.
Very easy.
Wait, drag. I must correct you. We're not a democracy, brother. We're a republic. We're not a democracy.
We're a democratic republic.
We used to be a republic. Let me correct myself. We used to be a republic. Now I don't know really what the heck we are, but we used to be a republic.
Who do you believe is running the country, Drake? Do you believe that Christians are running the country, or do you believe that Luciferians?
No, it's obviously evil Jews.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, do you believe?
You asked me who I thought was running.
I asked you, did you believe that Christians are running the country?
It's the Jews. It's the Jews. It's the Jews.
Or do you believe that Luciferians are running the country?
I'm not sure who's a Luciferian, so I'd have to say Christians amongst other people.
What's the definition of a Luciferian?
Sure.
Legit. You can look on Google if you want. But
I can tell him about 2 seconds. Luciferian is a Satanist that actually believes Satan is God. There you go.
Okay. I don't know any person in our government that actually believes
that. Well, actually, I would define it that way, but there's a different way that you can go about doing it. Because I have a video here where they're talking about what Luciferianism is.
Squirrel.
So I'm gonna actually show everybody what these who they are, and then Drag, you tell me whether or not you believe this is you. All right, whether or not you believe you're a Luciferian. But I'm a little surprised, Drag, by 2 of your answers. You don't believe in total sexual freedom. That's interesting.
It's amazing when you actually ask people questions and don't presume.
Yeah, but now, Drag, you got to admit, most atheists do. Okay, that's
no. I've literally never met any atheists that have said that they believe any of this stuff. That's why I keep asking who you met that actually said this.
We'll see that in a minute.
I literally just came from an atheist convention. I literally just came from a convention with over 300 atheists, and none of them has said any of this stuff.
Yeah, but they're gonna say this stuff in a minute. So I want you guys to pay attention to what you're gonna be listening to in a minute. And Drag, I'm gonna play the whole video until I'm finished. So I'm gonna play it. I don't care if you've seen it before.
How long is this video?
This video is about.
Has everyone caught age yet? Everyone got the audio age?
That's fine.
All right. So let me screen share this. Back, you might find this interesting, man. So let's watch this. What is the Luciferian doctrine? Let's watch this one first.
Hi, I'm Hansulem. In this video, in the Life Explained series, I would like to explore with you the Luciferian doctrine. Now, you may know about Lucifer, but have you heard about the Luciferian doctrine and how it influences our world today? To understand where it came from, we have to go back to the 11th century. All of Europe was in the firm grip of the Catholic Church. At that time, the church was sending thousands of men as crusaders to recapture the Holy Land, and in particular Jerusalem, which had fallen into Muslim hands. Now, who were these men, these crusaders? They came from all walks of life. The one thing they had in common was their belief in the Catholic teachings. However, when these men traveled to the Middle East, they were suddenly exposed to many different beliefs and spiritual teachings that they had never heard before. These teachings came from Judaic and Islam mysticism. They came from Egypt, from Greece, and even from faraway places like India. For some of these men, they were a truly mind-blowing experience. They also began to hear different interpretations of a familiar biblical text, things they had never heard in their church. One particular passage stood out. It was a story of the snake tempting Eve with the apple. The Catholic Church had taught them that the snake was Lucifer or Satan, who deceived Eve by promising that if she would eat from the forbidden tree, she would become like God. Suddenly these men were introduced to a very different interpretation. They heard that Lucifer was not evil or Satan, but the God who wanted to save and educate mankind.
Let me rewind that part again. All right? Let me rewind that. Listen carefully, Drag, because you're going to have a tough time defending this one, buddy.
The snake tempting Eve with the apple. The Catholic Church had taught them that the snake was Lucifer or Satan, who deceived Eve by promising that if she would eat from the forbidden tree, she would become like God. Suddenly these men were introduced to a very different interpretation. They heard that Lucifer was not evil or Satan, but the God who wanted to save and educate mankind. In truth, they called him the Lightbringer, the real God, and that Yahweh, or Adonai in the Bible, was in actuality the devil, the suppressor of mankind, because he didn't want Eve and Adam to know their true identity. This teaching became the famous Luciferian doctrine. Now, when these men returned home from the Holy Land, they continued.
Now, the Luciferian doctrine is actually taught in Masonic lodges. The Luciferian doctrine is taught in a lot of secret societies. All right? And the Luciferian doctrine primarily believes that God is the bad guy and Satan is the good guy. Satan was the one that promoted knowledge, and God was the one that promoted oppression. What do you say, Drag?
I say that's an interesting interpretation of the Bible.
That's an interesting interpretation of the Bible. Do you understand that a lot of the people that Vaughn and myself, and back on other people out there that would call the elite, or the people that are really running the country, not the puppet that's in the office right now, do you understand that this place is being run by Luciferians?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but if you okay, well, let me know when I can talk.
I was in the middle of saying something when you were talking, but go ahead.
Nope. So this is a nice conspiracy, but if you have evidence that the people, let's say Senator Ted Cruz or Nancy Pelosi or some of these people have like direct orders from. Well, hold on for a second. Let me finish. Have direct orders from these elite. I still don't know who the elite are, but they have direct commissions from these folks, and that these folks are avowed Luciferians. Then you know what? Then I'll go ahead and bite. They exist, but you're telling me they exist and that this group exists, and I'm not actually seeing any of this or any evidence of it, other than you saying they exist.
Okay, Drag, let me help you out because this is stuff you can actually look up and verify. All right. There's this thing out there called political ambrosia. You can put that in a Google search. And when you put it in a Google search, what you're going to find is you're going to find that your politicos, your Hollywood types, all of these people that are out there making billions and billions of dollars, they're drinking babies' blood and eating babies' flesh because they have been told or they believe that it will somehow prolong their lives or make them get a youthful appearance. Okay, this is documented. This is absolute truth. It's out there. You can look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. Then there's this thing called spirit cooking, which, I mean, even just watching a video on it should give you the heebie-jeebies. Because, I mean, it's these get-togethers where they may not necessarily be eating real flesh, but they're eating what looks like a human being on the table. Now some say, oh, it's actually a cake. Okay, fine, but it still looks like a human in every respect. I mean, it's even got genitalia, for crying out loud. And this is called spirit cooking. You can look that up as well. You know, these are what your government types, your Hollywood types, your ultra rich elitists, that's what they're into, Drag. And this is all documented and it's all coming out. In fact, here recently, it's all been coming out like crazy because I believe my gods are exposing all this evil. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that it's coming out. It's easy to look up and find out. And
Epstein stuff
too. And this is stuff that the most atheists that I've talked with even say, oh yeah, it's okay, man, no big deal. So what? You know, I've talked to atheists who said that, said, yeah, man, it's no big deal. Who cares? You know. And well, it is a big deal, man. It is a big deal. This stuff is evil. It is creepy. It is. There's so many words for it. I can't even begin. I mean,
you can do research on the so-called 13 richest families in the world. You can do research on this. You can find out what
are they mostly Jewish?
Well, I'm not talking about their ethnic.
They have Jewish sounding names, but they're not really Jewish.
I'm not talking about their ethnic
yeah, their ethnicity don't matter no way.
Religious beliefs and their philosophical beliefs. All right. So, Drag, listen, okay. You can do research if you actually find time in your life to do it to see whether or not our president and our Congress and our I don't even know what Beckle stands on this. It'd be interesting to hear what he's got to say. The Supreme Court. I know he loves Trump and everything and whatnot. You got the Supreme Court. Who has real power in this country? It's the people who control the money. Like the president can't even walk into, he's the president of the United States. He's supposed to be the most powerful person in the country, and he can't even go walk into the IRS and audit those people. And it's supposed to be federal.
The Federal Reserve has never been audited. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is not my opinion.
Are you really buying what they're telling you on TV all the time, Drag? Like, do you think outside the box at all? Like, do you really believe that
hey, G-Man,
votes actually matter in this? Give me a break. Come on, man.
G-Man, show him my screenshot. Show him my screenshot. Let's hear his comment on it. Show it.
Where is it?
It's over there.
I mean, love the presumption that I even watch TV.
Which one
but okay.
Is it Die Hard for correct? Who is this?
That Eva Von Hilton guy. I got a screen share there ready to go.
Okay, there we go. I'll put that up. There we go.
Yeah, there. Okay, now. All right, now Dragonaut, what's your comment about this here? This is from the head of the CIA, bro. What's your comment to that?
That doesn't surprise me in the least, considering what we know about COINTELPRO.
Somebody gets discredited, therefore they don't listen until somebody gets discredited with evolution, and that person still has credit, like Arnold Ra.
This is the head of the CIA saying this, you know? This is the head of this ain't some conspiracy theorist saying this. This isn't some Republican saying this. This isn't some conservative saying this. This is the head of the CIA saying it. And I got some other little gems that I can show you too that are just going to blow your mind.
I'm just to kind of push the conversation along. If you have quotes from the last 50 to 60 years of the NSA, CIA. It's people and those organizations saying that they put out misinformation. I'm going to just agree with you, but like there's clear evidence that has happened in the past. And it's very, very clear. That's why I specifically referenced COINTELPRO.
Okay, so Drag, you're not a total after all.
Hey, Drag, you.
I know. Well, I'm not sure why there's an assertion that I don't understand or I don't know about these topics. I choose not to talk about them and most other topics because, quite frankly, I don't feel the need to. And when I do have these conversations with people that.
Hey, Drag, let me ask you this and be honest, okay? And by the way, there's anybody else who's ever been in the military and wants to come in here and wants to talk about this? I'm very interested in hearing what you got to say.
Well, you kicked one out earlier.
How close are we as a nation to be to experience martial law maybe in the next 5 years in this country or 10 years in this country? Based on, no, I'm serious. I mean, 100% dead serious on this. Okay, forget Christianity and atheism and the things that we normally talk about. How close are we to experiencing martial law here in the United States?
Not very close. I'm not sure what you think is going to happen because the oppressed group of people represent the same beliefs as the people who are supposedly going to be instituting the martial law, right? Because if you're talking about stuff like instituting gun control, well, the majority of the military are pro-gun. If you're talking about Christian beliefs, vast majority of the armed services are Christian. So I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work with people.
Right. What would have to happen in the United States for martial law to happen in this country?
A dissolution of the government.
No.
And the institution
No.
of an interim government
That's
that is
your
totalitarian.
opinion. I'm talking about facts. I'm not talking about your opinion.
I'm talking about facts. I'm literally talking. Okay, so you tell me, G-Man, what is the protocol then for instituting martial law?
There has to be a certain amount of civil unrest that has to happen in this country where the local authorities cannot handle the situation, and then they're going to implement martial law. You need a certain amount of civil unrest to happen.
How exactly do you?
Country that is causing civil unrest right now.
So please explain to me how state military assets are going to be wrested from the states in order to institute this martial law.
All right, G-Man, let me help you out because I think he doesn't understand what you're saying. Let me break it down for you, Drag. Okay, and let's put it this way. Okay, who's behind this Antifa? Who's behind BLM? Who's behind these groups? You know, it's obvious that there is a hard left wing entity that's behind these groups, that's financing these groups. And what are these groups doing? Oh, they're out there causing all kinds of damage and destruction and disarray and whatnot. That's all by design, man. It's all by design to get everything all stirred up and start a bunch of crap, man. That's what it's all about, bro. That's that's being truthful, okay?
That's odd that you say that, Vaughn, but BLM and Antifa are really interesting examples, specifically since BLM is a decentralized group. How exactly is there a concerted effort behind some single backer for some solitary goal when they're all decentralized?
Because he's the head of Twitter, and I've got a picture of him sitting down to lunch with the head of BLM. So
there is no head of BLM.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It does. Because there are chapters. No, there are chapters in different areas, right? Okay. But the chapter in Canada doesn't respond or doesn't move or adjust anything for some like centralized body. That's the entire purpose of them being decentralized.
Okay, so the head of Twitter sitting down with that particular head of BLM is not necessarily responding to any other head of BLM.
No, you have people who are put into power in local chapters, but what one person does in Chicago is not the same thing that people are doing in Louisiana. Again, they're decentralized.
Okay, well, I'm you can believe that, but I don't believe that's the case. But
here's an easy thing. Where is the centralized headquarters for Black Lives Matters?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where the headquarters for Antifa is either. But I mean, they're organized groups. But
that's my point. Well, being organized at a local level doesn't mean that you're centralized, and that you're a centralized organization. Those are two different things.
All right. So Drag, in the Bible, who is the good guy and who is the bad guy? Luciferianism is a real thing. It's called the Luciferian Doctrine. There's a book that you can buy. You can get the audio book. It's 6 hours.
I believe you.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. There's a book that's 6 to 10 hours long if you want to listen to it, or you can actually buy the book and actually read it for yourself. It's called the Luciferian Doctrine. What it is that they believe, you know what I mean? And yes, it is a religion. You can Google it. It is a real thing. In the Bible,
I'll find some people.
The bad guy in the Bible.
And as far as the Christians go, the bad guy is Satan.
Well, I'm not talking about from the Christian perspective. You're an atheist. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy?
From me? Oh, that's actually a good question. Depends on what narrative I read. It changes. Guy can be a good guy. Guy can be a bad guy. Depends on how many people he's killing or what he's doing.
And a bad guy for an atheist.
I don't think there was. Actually, that's a good question. I don't think there was a good guy or bad guy in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think God wanted to be a protector.
Wait a minute. You're a college student, right? And you brag constantly about like what you're doing with yourself with going to school and everything and whatnot. And my audience ain't stupid. They all heard you. They have all heard you at some point talk about this. All right. So let's talk about this here for a minute, okay? In the Garden of Eden, God told Adam and Eve not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If they ate from the tree, man would certainly die. Man will fall, and we will have all the problems that we're having today. Right? According to Scripture. Now, Satan came and told Eve that if you eat from these things, that God knows that you will be like him, knowing good and evil, that you will have knowledge from eating this fruit. Now, the Luciferian believes that God was in the wrong for withholding knowledge from Adam and Eve.
Right.
Okay? Now, you and other atheists have called God a scumbag, have called him immoral, have deemed him to be the worst person in all of fiction, according to you guys. And I never, ever hear you guys say anything negative about Satan except for the fact that he might not exist and that he was really the good guy in the Garden of Eden.
Well,
so
he has killed people.
Yeah, in the Garden of Eden, who was right and who was wrong? Was it Satan or was it God?
Again, I don't agree with that dichotomy.
Who was right?
I mean,
was it Satan or was it the devil or was it God?
I don't think either are bad. Like, I'm not sure what's hard about that.
Oh, okay.
If you're asking me my critique on the story, I don't think either one was bad.
So God was good for withholding knowledge from Adam and Eve.
Sure.
So God is not evil.
Sure. Now, if you're asking me about that particular instance, no, God was a protector. If you're asking me overall, that's a different question.
Okay. So you don't got a problem at all with the Garden of Eden.
I mean, it's a kind of a terrible story.
So it's not God's fault. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So it's not God's fault. Becca, I want you to hear this one here, Becca. I don't know if you can hear me or not. It's not God's fault that you sin every day, according to the scriptures.
That's an interesting take on what I definitely didn't say.
Okay, so whose fault is it? Is it Satan's or is it God's fault? Whose fault is it?
Again, you're asking me my G-man. Okay, you let me know when I can finish talking.
In the world.
You let me know when I can talk.
Dude, you're the only person in the room right now.
Okay, well, you keep interrupting me every time I start talking. Okay, there we go. Finally, Jesus. All right. I want everyone to turn their Bibles to Mark 21, verse 4, and read along with me. Oh, okay, he didn't pop back in. All right, so now I honestly think that as far as the story of the Garden of Eden, it's a pretty boring story, but I don't think that there is an objective bad guy in that story, because the way that you can read that is that God wanted to protect the naive Adam and Eve, right? Or you can read that as Satan wanting to enlighten them because he felt that's what he needed to do, because giving knowledge is cool. So the result, though, afterwards about God punishing Adam and Eve for deciding that, you know what, we're going to go with Satan, that is an interesting question, because you can imagine a scenario where someone wants to protect you, but you don't necessarily need some type of punishment afterwards. You can just remove whatever protections you have in the future. But what we see is that there is a punishment. In fact, there's quite a punishment. There is eternal damnation because individuals, these entities that were naive, somehow managed to listen to another entity that they didn't realize they probably shouldn't be listening to, right? Because they were told to stay away from the tree. They weren't told not to listen to any other entity. So it's interesting because most people read that, and I say most people, most atheists read that as the punishment is not commensurate with the supposed crime. But, you know, that just depends on how you want to read it, right? You really have to sit down and understand where people are coming from. If you're a Christian and you come from the mindset that listening to God is what I desire, and that's what everybody should desire, you're going to read into that text as they screwed up. They should have felt it in their bones that interacting with this serpent, this creature, was wrong. If you're coming at it from a Satanist point of view, well, you know what? He's a hero. He wants to give them light. He wants to give them knowledge. You're coming at it just kind of as a, just, I guess, more objective, just making a literary critique. You know what? You can see how both entities wanted something for them, and then them being naive, they just went with the last thing that they heard. And the military, we call it last order received. And so that's just my take on it.
Okay. No disrespect, Drag, but that sounds like a bunch of pointless rambling. It sounds like a direct answer. And I'm going to tell you why it didn't sound like a direct answer, okay? Here's the thing. God is constantly blamed. And Becca, I know you're going to back me on this one, okay? You guys are constantly blaming God for what people do on a regular basis. Okay, and the whole world wouldn't even be the way it is if God would never put that tree in the middle of the garden. Like, do I literally have to show you all of the videos where you guys have said this? Now,
I'm aware what other atheists say.
Just hold on a minute. If that is your argument, and you're saying that God is not wrong for putting the tree there, then now you are admitting that everyone is responsible for what they've done. So if a person lies, that's not God's fault. If a person rapes somebody and God doesn't intervene, that's not God's fault. None of those things are God's fault. That's man's fault, and you're admitting the Bible is correct about sin. So you're lucky that's not the topic today, because if it was, you would be moving over to theism today, because you would be in a lot of trouble right now, man. You're wrong with the wrong two people talking about that topic, buddy. But the bottom line is, most atheists, 99.9% of them, believe that God was wrong for putting the tree in the garden to begin with. What do you say, Zach? Michael?
I don't have a comment right now. I mean, I think I see what Dragna was trying to say. Dragna, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't sound like you were coming up with an objective interpretation. It's not like you were just suggesting that there are people who can interpret that event in different ways. Is that? Am I right about that? Or?
That's accurate.
Okay, so you're not making a dogmatic statement about how it should be interpreted, though, right?
No, because I know that there are different interpretations. So yeah, that is accurate.
Right.
Well, it's kind of it's a little. I know what Drag is talking about.
That believe that Lucifer was actually the what do you call it, the liberator of man from the garden, from God's tyranny, by letting them eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And this is actually a tenet that's taught by atheists. You guys don't say it like that. You don't say, okay, this is a rule or a tenet. But you guys do teach this. Come out of Christianity, get smart, learn about science.
Well, G-Man, the atheists like to use paganism when it's convenient for them. What he's referring to is the original story of Enlil and Enki. Enlil wanted to control mankind. Enki wanted to give mankind wisdom and freedom and et cetera, et cetera. And it's a little disingenuous when atheists turn to paganism simply as a means to get to beat Christians over the head. I don't appreciate that. I don't think that's right. But yeah, and like Christina talked about Prometheus in the outside chat. Prometheus brought man fire, and so he was punished because of it. And it's disingenuous when atheists turn to paganism just as a means to attack Christians. I don't think that's right. And like I said, I don't really believe atheism is viable anyway, but it's rather disingenuous. But I know what he's talking about.
That Luciferianism is I'm sorry, not Luciferianism. Atheists, modern day atheists, new atheists that we see today are Luciferian. Because any other conversation, he would be up there saying that God shouldn't have put the tree there to begin with. Christina Blackfeather mentioned this in the live chat, and most atheists would say the same thing. If God wouldn't have put the tree there, it wouldn't have been a problem. God wouldn't have put man there, it wouldn't have been a problem. You know what I mean?
Well,
on a regular basis.
Anybody can make that argument, I guess, but that then there's the responsibility that they had. They had kind of a responsibility too. They should have known that it was there and that it was off limits. It was forbidden. So they had responsibility. We can play the responsibility game all day long. I just thought I chimed in because I didn't think it was very intellectually honest to be using paganism as a means to attack Christianity. I didn't
attack anyone.
Well, not directly. No, you didn't. But, typically when the atheist reaches back to paganism for Enlil and Enki or Prometheus or some of the other pagans, they do that in a means to attack Christianity or to browbeat Christians. And I've seen it happen numerous times, and I'm not too cool with that, man. I'm just not.
All right, we got a midnight.
This is my first time hearing about this story, so I don't know anything about that.
All right. So if it's true and we can prove that atheists are Luciferians, we already heard them say that, I haven't heard one atheist coming here yet and say that they, want God in government, because they certainly don't want him in government. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna ask you about private property because I'm pretty sure you believe in that. I hope you believe that we should have private.
I have private property, so yes.
Okay, great. So tell me something. Are are you more in favor for a republic, a democracy, or a communist nation?
I said it earlier. Jesus. So, hold on. People are sending me messages on.
I'm pretty sure they want the link to come in here. All right, Zach, you want to say something, Zach?
You're late. You're late. Can you hear me? You're late for your date with Shannon Q. What does that mean? Oh, yeah. Someone sent me a message, and were you supposed to do that hangout today?
What? What hangout?
Aren't you supposed to be debating Shannon Q or something?
That's tomorrow, I think. That's not today.
That's tomorrow. Okay. I don't know. Someone sent me that message.
That's tomorrow. I'm sure.
Okay. No, like I said, someone just sent that to me. I didn't know what that was talking about. Anyway, no. I said earlier that I am for a democratic republic.
No, we'll see. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh no, they're waiting for you.
Oh, this is today.
Yeah. Someone's in my chat saying that they're waiting for you. Did you get your dates mixed up again?
No, I told Modern Day Debate I was going to do it Wednesday.
You might want to contact James. I'm not joking, by the way. That's people are literally saying that.
All right, let me see what's happening here, and then I might have to stop the show. Let me see. Unless I'll keep this going, and then you guys can talk about this, and I'll just go.
Modern Day Debate is in the outside chat saying, "Hey, G-Man, did you forget about us? We're waiting for you."
All right, Modern Day Debate, pick up your phone. Pick up the phone, Modern Day. Is that today?
Phone, baby. I mean, when I have dates, I usually try and show up on time for them.
Well, I have to write mine down. So.
Hold on one second. Let me mute it.
Especially with pretty women.
I have to write mine down. I mean, and you can get busy and forget something. I mean, come on, that's just human.
I'm busting.
All right, I have to go to Modern Day Debate and do my show there. So this is what we're gonna do. Beckel's not here.
Nobody can host people, G-Man. You're just gonna have to end it and then start it tomorrow because nobody else can broadcast new people.
Well, I can leave and put Beckel in charge, and then it can happen that way. But anyway,
he can't.
Guys, I gotta go.
G-Man, he can't broadcast people. Like nobody else can get in.
Oh, okay. All right. See y'all later. We'll continue this tomorrow. We'll do a part 2.
All right. See ya.
Plus, to give Dragna a little bit of some time to go get the dictionary and look up some things. All right. So see you guys later. GTV.
Oh man, I just got in.
Fuck is this? The fuck is this playing? Oh, it's Pine Creek. Word? Okay, well that's cool. That's an ugly looking dude. God damn. Okay. Hold on. All right. Get this. All right. I'm not going to be on for too much longer, but yeah, so yeah. Wow, that was, I hope y'all enjoyed the shit out of that. That was interesting. That was interesting, but I learned so much. I mean, history isn't my strong suit, actually, but it just so happened that the history I am learning, U.S. history and world history and shit like that, just so happens to come up. But then there's weird shit that I hear. I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. So it's whatever. Yeah, it's Pine Creek Doug. He's like a less smug T-Jump. The older, more refined. Like a fine wine. I don't know. I was trying to YouTube has changed a bunch of the controls and like community settings and stuff like that because I was trying to fix something, and I noticed that there were some comments left on my last video, and I am starting to kind of notice a pattern where I'm challenging people's ideas and I'm challenging their perceptions of folks, and they won't actually say anything while I'm live. They'll just make little snide comments and shit, and I'm like, again, I just so happen to catch that one, but I usually don't go back and look at any of that stuff. So if you want, I guess, me to respond to something, then you could just contact me or just say something in the chat. Say, hey, you know what? I think you're wrong about that. But yeah, I'm gonna get a Smithy. Let me get the Peaches one because I took out the big Smithy. I'm having this conversation. Like it's interesting. You don't have to really put in any type of really heavy thought, and you can play this fucking game because this game actually takes quite a bit of my thought, and that's why you'll hear me You'll hear me kind of stutter a little bit because I'm trying to think about what I need to do or what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to converse, and yeah, it doesn't always work out. Tools. Oh, you put a Smithy. No, get the small one. Get the fucking small one. I'm not gonna stay on here too long, folks, because my wife has a show that she needs to watch, and I've been on here long enough. Blueprint Smithy. Okay, here it is. I need this one. As part of ship decor. So what the fuck do I need in here? Fiber, flint, hide, metal, stone, wood. Okay, all the essentials. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Actually, I was getting messages from people. Aaron was messaging me and shit like that, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? What the fuck? If I play Outer Worlds, no. My homeboy fucking Xavier playing the shit out of that. I've not played it. I don't play too many games at once. I really don't, because I hate having, like, this is my free time, but I don't want a whole bunch of shit going on at once with my games. I don't want too many games. Start to feel overwhelmed. She can't take no more, Captain.
Have you printed out that copy of the church bylaws I asked you for last week? Twice? And yesterday? I'll get right on it.
Let me get this. Let's see. Saloon. Foo larder. See what that one looks like. Oh, that one looks better. Need flint, metal, stone, wood. Got the Conan. Ain't enough in Conan. Ain't enough there. Unless they actually added some shit. I was playing it on PS4 anyway. Some more stuff you can do on PC. Oh, thank you, Lord Jack. Shannon Q and G-Man are supposed to debate tonight. And I thought it was tonight too. They're supposed to debate something or other about morality and God. So this should be interesting. I'm gonna see count how many times Shannon tries to hold back a laugh. She's terrible at it. Looks like she's trying to hold in a fart. You ever catch that? Don't tell her I said that, because then she's gonna get self-conscious. But watch the next time Shannon Q tries not to laugh at something. Like you could tell it's funny because she kind of looks like a hiccup, but she tries to hold it in. She tries to keep her shit together. It just looks like she's constipated. It's funny as hell. Y'all didn't get that from me. Let's see. I need to split off some of this stuff. Put it over there. Y'all know what came in the mail for me today? How many of y'all know? I'm not going to put it on camera because I might definitely get flagged. I just won't talk about it then. Flint. I need more flint and stone. God damn it. Okay. Am I in the Zelda games? No, the missus is. She's big into Zelda. I'm not. Zelda games really don't appeal to me. I'm honestly not. I mean, they're not bad games. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. It's just they don't appeal to me. I need flint. Yeah, I needed flint. I sent a super chat to McCray, trolled him hard. Don't do that. Send him money because you care. Send him money because you want to see him do better in life. You want to make sure he gets lobster rolls. Or whatever it is that... I don't know. He could actually get a job and save up money so his daughter can go to school. Or college. I'm live. Just so you know. So you know.
I want everybody to hear that. I don't want you to touch my shit at the dock.
What? You don't have anything at the fucking dock, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be touching.
Did it get destroyed again?
I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck you got at the dock that I don't need to touch.
No, you guys move shit around to put your fucking shops there and whatever, and I already have a plan for shops, but y'all are like taking it away and getting rid of all the scenery.
No, the stuff at the shop gets destroyed because there's alligators that keep fucking spawning over there and they just kill shit. That's why things keep getting destroyed. It's that goddamn alligator. And I put my shop back here. Like it stores metal. Well, it used to store metal. There's nothing in it now. You can pick it up. But yeah.
Fine. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to domesticate like what, fucking pig or something, and just keep a couple of pigs and keep them there.
I mean, something vicious.
Yeah, I was trying to look into see if there's like a way to make chickens overpower the spot, so that you just have a bunch of chickens walking around and like.
Well, you know, Pew is making a he's making a fucking border wall around the entire compound.
Yeah, but that's not gonna stop them from spawning.
No, what he's gonna do though is once he builds a wall, build that wall, he's gonna take like the tigers and shit like that and put them in different areas and put them on like patrol, and they're gonna. Yeah, he's just gonna put them on wander, so and then just put a trough in the middle of them, so you know they'll yeah.
Anyway, G-Man was late to his own debate.
Yeah, he was over there talking to me, and I just happened to notice in the chat. I was like, man, he had a date with a pretty white girl, and just like completely blew that off.
So, Drag, are we ready?
Let me check, cause dude, I got fucked up.
Why is there Mythos on the ship?
Because Mythos it drops from the ghost ships. So anytime you kill ghost ships, you get the patterns, you get the money.
So I should take Mythos off there.
Yeah, go ahead and take it off. Sit. No, drag destroyed. Stuff gets destroyed because Luciferians has been documented. I guess, man. Like I don't. Who are you new people? Where are you new people coming from? Y'all can't be Steve fans.
There's no way you get new people. You're
I'm actually almost at 3,000 subscribers, believe it or not. I don't know why people keep subscribing. Like I like who I like already. I like the people I got. Mythos is in the Citadel in the middle. I don't fucking know. I don't know who these people are. They're weirdos.
But for
I am.
Ships of the Damned, though, this is the wrong format for the ship.
I've just been killing shit. Like the Dreadnought was already made, so I just rolled with it.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying, like, me and Sokka can change it up to where put the cannons on the back of the ship.
Yeah, please do. Like you see, like this ramp thing up here, I put that there because I got tired of trying to climb up shit. But if you want to deconstruct this whole bottom part, I'll just move the fucking steering wheel up here, and let's let y'all rebuild that. Because I would love a captain's quarters, and I would love rear cannons, and just one front cannon.
Okay, Drag, I'm gonna send you a pic. Tell me if this direction is generally good, and don't mention
Is it? Hopefully it is what I think it is.
It might be. Bitch it.
You found me through Skylar Fiction. You know, I actually met up with Skylar Fiction. Oh, you watched me years ago and you found me again? Yeah, it happens. I had to actually go through my subscriptions and find stuff that I had subscribed to ages ago.
Obviously, it's not done, but I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
And yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
You ready to cast off?
Did you check the supplies and the ammunition? I'm looking at the ammunition right now. Ammunition looks good. We're fine. Actually, you want the Lieutenant's Podium. You want Lieutenant's Podium?
Yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Am I sailing or are you sailing?
I'll sail. I'm actually pretty good at it now. I'm better.
Oh God, why is he sailing? Don't let him sail.
How do you
We're
think?
never gonna get that ship back.
How do you think that? Like, I was live this entire time sailing.
We need hide.
Bullshit.
Okay. I was this entire time. I've been fighting ships to the dam. I've just been I was practicing on the acquisition, and I got good. I said, okay, well now that I'm pretty good, I got my strategy down. I'm gonna take the dreadnought.
Schooner. Nowhere like a brig or a galleon.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm practicing on this brig.
Yeah. That's the first brig that I made. So.
You just that I met Skylar Fiction is my size. I don't think people realize that.
Oh yeah, he's a big guy.
He is actually he's a little bit wider than me, but he is my size. Yes, that is what she said. And
He lost a lot of weight when the last time I saw him based on.
He did.
Yeah, he lost a lot. That's really cool. I know he was working on it. My God, Skylar's watching, dude. It shows. Good job.
yeah, Skylar. Yeah, and you know what? Skylar is a good-looking dude. He is a good-looking dude. I will say that. I was tempted. I was tempted to touch his butt, but he didn't consent, so couldn't touch his butt.
You really didn't consent? That seems so not like him.
No, I gave him a nice hearty hug. I got one of those weird, awkward Christian side hug kind of things from Seth, but you know, that's okay.
Phew, still, the weirdest.
Huh?
That fucking, like, where he was trying to be stiff as a board for.
He's trying to be stiff. trying to be stiff.
It's a penis joke.
Yes.
Why are you making penis jokes?
I can't make penis joke on this trash drama coward channel. This all of a sudden you're too good for penis jokes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring in. Oh, so was there an intention to let the 58 mutiny or
No. What do you mean?
from the galleon?
Did they all? No, they didn't mutiny.
They're all gone.
They should be paid for.
All of them are gone.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Where was that in the log? I've been checking the fucking logs.
All of them are gone. So unless you got them hiding somewhere.
No way. You checked the cyberbully cafe?
Yeah, there's not 58 crew in the cyberbully
I don't know
campaign.
what you guys can fucking do. Do you stuff them all in a closet together? I don't fucking know. It's a video game. Check.
There's nobody on the ship. So
There's gotta be lagging. There's no way.
That had to happen before we took off.
I did not log in all weekend. I was like MIA this whole weekend.
also, there's an elephant stuck at the ladder to get up on the dreadnought, so I can't get
Really?
up.
Come on.
Did it
All right.
get? Wait. Did they aggro on the elephant and die?
What?
Did they get aggroed? Like, can they get aggroed on the ship? The crew.
They might be. I don't know.
It depends on what you have, Maz. If you have some of them aggressive,
I
they'll.
had them on the cannon.
Did you have the? Oh shit. Did you have them unmounted? Well, okay, no, they were seated then. I don't know.
They may not have been mounted. Actually, I may have taken them off the mount because I didn't want them shooting at random things.
Were they? Yeah, they do that. Were they on aggressive?
I do not know.
Okay, if they were on aggressive, they definitely ran the fuck off. If they weren't, they might not have been within range of the settlement to get the gold and the stuff. Yeah, because trust me,
No, wait, also people, did anybody restock the food?
Oh, well, no, that's what the silo's for.
Is there food in the silo?
Yes, I keep food in the silo.
What's the silo hitting them?
I don't know. I
Talk about literal food or game food.
Game food.
It's Xavier. I ate today.
Son of a.
That's not informative as to whether you want more food. I'll eat like today now. Greg, I've been listening to that drunk dude talk to Beckel and G-Man. It gave me dick cancer and Von Helgi.
Who is the drunk dude? I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, he's talking about Red Fang.
He was obliterated. Can you not attack him?
No. This is disconcerting.
Next time you get a chance, if he wants to meet me up in New York again.
Okay.
Chance to meet a pretty white girl. Well, he's been wanting me to come back up there, and I'm like, look, dude, You got okay. Just pull out. I know you don't hear that often, but.
Oh my god. I remember that. That was so sad. It's like, how the fuck is he sneaking a gun on a plane, G-Man? I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
G-Man doesn't know how that shit works.
shit. But I'm just saying, if he wants to like organize something and he wants to meet up to talk about it or something over dinner.
So, okay. I'd be happy to meet G-Man. I have so many questions. Like, for instance, are his arms as proportionally short as they appear in video? That's an important question.
Well, why don't you make it so that you and Drag come over the same summer?
I know, I'm just.
I can probably swing that if it doesn't interfere with my trip to Europe.
I just realized something. I don't think people can hear y'all.
No, I don't think so. No, also, all of us love your references to Agrippa and how he is ruling the world.
Yeah. Actually, I am going to go ahead and end this, folks. I did promise I was getting the fuck off. So, thank you for watching, folks.